My child, do not look away. This is my final attempt to reach you, not because I have stopped speaking, but because you have been surrounded by so much noise that my whisper has struggled to reach your heart. I am not speaking these words to condemn you. I am calling you because I love you too deeply to leave you where you are. Do not avoid this moment. Do not dismiss it as another video or another passing message. Your heart paused here for a reason. You may think you found these words by chance, but I tell you, nothing about this moment is accidental. I have watched every tear you wiped away before anyone could see it. I have heard every prayer you whispered when you believed no answer was coming. I have seen the questions you buried because you were afraid of being disappointed again. Even when you felt forgotten, I never stepped away from you. Even when you stopped expecting me to answer, I remained near. You have carried burdens that no one else fully understands. You have smiled while hiding exhaustion. You have kept moving while your spirit quietly cried out for direction. There were moments when you convinced yourself that silence meant I was absent, but my silence was never abandonment. I was preparing this very moment to capture your attention before you wandered farther from the path I have prepared for you. That is why I am asking you with love and urgency, stay. Do not skip these words. If you leave now, you may walk away from the encouragement you have been praying for, the correction your heart has needed, with a clarity that could change the direction of your next step. But if you remain, if you listen with an open heart instead of a guarded mind, you may begin to recognize my hand where you once saw only confusion. You may finally understand why certain doors closed, why certain people left, and why I have been calling your name even through the ordinary moments of your life. I know you have been tempted to ignore what your spirit hath been sensing. You have wondered whether those quiet convictions, those restless nights, and those unexpected interruptions meant anything at all. They did. I have been reaching toward you again and again, not to shame you, but to draw you closer than you have ever been before. Beloved, this is not the end of your story. This is the moment I am asking you to stop running, stop hiding behind fear, and stop believing that my voice has become distant. I am here, and I am speaking because what comes next matters. Open your heart, quiet every distraction, and listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you is the reason I refuse to stop reaching for you. My beloved child, you are here because I have been trying to reach you through layers of noise, through your constant distractions, through the tired routines you have used to keep yourself from feeling what has really been happening inside you. You have been moving quickly, even when your body was still. You have been filling your hours, your mind, your hands, your eyes, because somewhere deep down you knew that if you slowed down long enough, something real would rise to the surface. And what would rise would not just be pain. It would not just be the questions you have buried. It would be me. It would be my voice touching the part of you that still remembers what it felt like to be spiritually alive, what it felt like to trust without forcing, what it felt like to breathe without carrying this constant invisible weight. You have not been avoiding a message, my child. You have been avoiding the moment where your heart would have to admit that it is tired of surviving without peace. I know how you got here. I know why you became this guarded. I know why you learned to keep scrolling, keep working, keep talking, keep distracting yourself, because distraction feels safer than honesty when you are carrying disappointment that has never fully healed. You have been afraid that if you stop long enough to really listen, you might have to face the truth about how empty some things have become, how far you drifted from the tenderness you once had with me, how much of your strength has actually been exhaustion wearing a mask. But I am not speaking to shame you for that. I am speaking because I love you too much to let you keep living on the surface while your inner life keeps starving. You have asked for signs in ways you barely admitted to yourself. You have had moments when you looked upward, even if you did not pray with words, and something in you whispered, "If you are still there, reach me." This is me reaching you. This is not punishment. This is not pressure. This is not a threat wrapped in spiritual language. This is your Father coming close because you have been standing in a dangerous place emotionally and spiritually, not because I want to strike you down, but because I can see what distance from me is doing to your soul. You have been trying to manage pain without surrender, trying to heal without truth, trying to move forward while dragging behind you things I never asked you to carry. And the longer you do that, the more normal the heaviness begins to feel. The more familiar the numbness becomes. The more you start calling survival peace just because you made it through another day. But you know there is a difference. You know there is a difference between functioning and living, between getting through and being whole, between being busy and being free. That is why I am interrupting you now. I am interrupting the pattern. I am stepping into the place where you would have kept moving, and I am asking you not to move away this time. Say here with me. Let yourself feel what rises. Let yourself hear what your spirit has been too crowded to hear. Because this moment is not small, even if it looks ordinary on the outside. You may be sitting in a room no one else notices, looking at words on a screen, while everything around you appears unchanged. But inwardly, this can become the beginning of something you have needed for far longer than you have admitted. You have been waiting for a dramatic sign, for some undeniable event, for something that would force certainty into your hands. Yet often I come in a quieter way than that, not because I am weak, but because I want your heart, not just your reaction. I want your honest attention. I want your willing yes. I want you to stop long enough to realize that I have not stopped reaching for you, even after all the times you delayed, all the times you numbed yourself, all the times you promised you would come back later. I am here now, and I am asking you not to avoid me again. Let this be the moment you stop calling this coincidence. Let this be the moment you stop treating the tug inside you like something you can explain away. You are not here because the algorithm brought you. You are here because I have been pursuing you with a patience deeper than your resistance. And if you stay with me now, if you let this become more than a passing emotional pause, I will begin showing you just how much of your life I have been trying to reclaim from the hands of confusion, exhaustion, and quiet despair. And my child, I need you to understand something with complete clarity before you move forward from this point, because if you misunderstand my heart here, you will hear urgency and mistake it for rejection, and that would only push you farther from the very love trying to pull you close. I am not speaking like this because I am done with you. I am speaking like this because I still want you. I still want your heart, your trust, your attention, your honesty, even in the condition you are in right now. You may think you need to clean yourself up before you can respond to me properly. You may think that because you have ignored me for so long, because you let habits grow that you know are not good for you, because you have said things, done things, entertained things, or become things you never imagined, that maybe now you have to stand at a distance until you earn the right to come close again. But that is not how I love you. That is not how I have ever loved you. If distance could cancel my love, you would have been lost long ago. If weakness could erase your place in my heart, you would never have made it through the nights that almost broke you. I have stayed near you in more moments than you realize. I was there in the quiet collapse after the strong face came off. I was there in the strange emptiness after things you thought would satisfy you left you feeling even more hollow. I was there in the moments when your chest felt heavy and you did not know how to explain why. I was there when you were disappointed by people you trusted, and I was there when you disappointed yourself so deeply that even looking inward felt painful. I know what you have been carrying, and I know what it has done to the way you see yourself. That is why I am speaking directly, because I need to break through the lie that says you are too far gone for tenderness, too inconsistent for calling, too stained for grace, too delayed for destiny. Those lies have been sitting closer to your thoughts than my truth has, and they have shaped the way you respond to me. They have taught you to hesitate. They have taught you to assume that conviction means condemnation, that my nearness means exposure without comfort, that if I come close it must be to point out everything wrong. But I am your Father, and when I come close, I come to restore what has been damaged, not to humiliate what is already bruised. Yes, I will tell you the truth. Yes, I will confront what is harming you. Yes, I will call you out of places that are draining your life. But I do that because I refuse to let the false version of peace you settled for keep stealing from the life I intended for you. I am not asking you to perform spirituality for me. I am asking you to be real with me. That is what makes this a turning point. Not that you subtly become perfect. Not that all your struggles disappear in one emotional moment. What makes this holy is that you stop resisting the invitation. You stop negotiating with the distance. You stop assuming you can always come back later. Later hath been your language for too long, and later has cost you more than you know. It has cost you clarity. It has cost you softness. It has cost you time with me that would have steadied your heart before certain storms. And still, even after that, I am here. That is mercy. That is what you are feeling right now. Mercy. Not a lecture. Not a public warning. Mercy reaching you in private. Mercy finding you in the exact place where you thought no one could really see what was going on. I am seeing it now, and I am not turning away. So do not turn away from me. Let this first step be simple and honest. When you finish reading this, do not rush into another distraction. Sit still for a moment. Even if you do not know what to say this much to me in your own heart. Father, I have been avoiding you, but I do not want to anymore. That is enough to begin. That is enough for me to meet you in a way that will feel personal, real, and unmistakably mine. If you give me that opening, I will start touching places in you that have felt locked for a long time. I will begin untangling what has become knotted. I will show you what needs to leave, what needs to heal, what needs to be rebuilt, and what I have been protecting in you all along. This is why I stopped you here. Not to overwhelm you. To bring you home, one honest surrender at a time. My beloved child, come closer and stay with me here, because I want to speak into the part of you that has become skilled at avoiding what hurts, even when that avoidance has quietly become the very thing keeping you wounded. You have learned how to move through life with a practiced face. You know how to answer people in a way that keeps them from asking deeper questions. You know how to fill your schedule, how to keep your hands busy, how to let your mind race just enough that you never have to sit still with what is really going on inside you. You have called it coping. You have called it being strong. You have called it getting through. But I need you to hear me with tenderness and honesty now. Some of what you have named strength has really been survival, and survival can keep you alive for a season, but it cannot heal what your soul has been carrying. I have watched you reach for things that gave you temporary relief and then left you emptier afterward. I have watched you look for comfort in people who could not carry the weight you placed on them. I have watched you hope that another distraction, another conversation, another goal, another achievement, another late-night scroll, another emotional escape would soften the ache enough to let you breathe. Yet the ache remained. It shifted shapes sometimes. You hid under other feelings. You got quieter on certain days. But it never truly left, because the place that needed healing was deeper than your habits could reach. You have been trying to treat a spiritual wound with emotional bandages, and every time you did, the pain came back in a different form. That is why you have felt restless in moments that should have felt peaceful. That is why even some of your victories have not settled you. That is why certain nights have felt heavier than the day deserved. You have been carrying things in hidden places, and you have been hoping time alone would do what only surrender can do. Listen to me carefully, because I am not exposing this to embarrass you. I am opening this because I want to free you. Stop running for a moment. Stop managing yourself like you are a problem to be solved by your own effort. Stop acting as if you must keep yourself emotionally afloat without letting me into the deeper waters. You do not need another temporary comfort right now. You need truth. You need stillness. You need the kind of honesty that feels uncomfortable at first but becomes the doorway to peace. Sit with me and admit what you already know in your quietest moments. You are tired of carrying this version of yourself. You are tired of pretending the pain is not affecting you. You are tired of the cycle where you feel conviction, then delay, then numb yourself, then promise you will deal with it later. Later has become a hiding place, and it has not protected you. It has only postponed the healing. I am asking you now, not harshly, but firmly, to stop postponing what your heart has needed for a long time. Lay down the performance. Lay down the pressure to look okay. Lay down the version of yourself that keeps trying to function while breaking underneath. Let me say this to you in a way that settles into your spirit. The thing you have been avoiding is not the thing that will destroy you. It is the doorway that will begin to restore you. The honest prayer you have delayed. The confession you have postponed. The tears you have swallowed. The truth you have avoided naming. The surrender you kept bargaining with. These are not your enemies. These are the threshold. Walk to it. Do not pace around it anymore. Come through it with me. Let your heart stop circling the same ground. Let me reach the wound beneath the habit. Let me speak to the fear beneath the distance. Let me touch the loneliness beneath the noise. Because if you keep feeding the distraction, you will keep starving the place in you that was created for intimacy with me. And if you keep starving that place, you will keep calling survival peace when I have something far deeper waiting for you. Breathe now. Stay here. Put your defenses down for these few moments. Let your shoulders drop. Let your thoughts sow. And if you do not know how to begin, then begin with one simple act of courage. Say to me, Father, I have been avoiding what I need to face, and I want you to help me face it now. That prayer matters. That moment matters. A small opening matters. I can do much more with your honest opening than you can do with 1,000 controlled distractions. And I want you to understand, my child, that what you have been avoiding is not only pain. It is also closeness. It is also the tenderness you have not known how to receive without fear. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that if you came fully to me, I would only confront you with everything that is wrong, every failure, every inconsistency, every compromise, every place where you did not live the way you know you should have. That fear made you hesitate. It made you keep me at a respectful distance, close enough to still believe in me, but not close enough to be changed by me. You let me remain an idea, a background comfort, a last resort in emergencies, because part of you thought that if I came too close, I would expose you without covering you. But that is not my heart toward you. Yes, I see everything. I see the patterns you do not talk about. I see the moments you wish you could erase. I see how you sometimes say you trust me while still clinging to the thing that is quietly draining you. I see the habits that leave you hollow, the emotional attachments that keep reopening old wounds, the thoughts you return to that darken your inner world. I see the whole picture, and still I am calling you closer. Do you hear me? Closer. not farther. I do not invite you into intimacy so I can shame you. I invite you into intimacy so I can heal you where shame has been ruling too long. This is why I need you to stop and receive this next part deeply. The reason I keep reaching for you is because I know what happens when you stay disconnected. I know how easy it becomes for your mind to fill with lies when my voice is not the one you are listening to most. I know how quickly you start accepting emotional scraps when you have forgotten the fullness of my love. I know how temptation grows stronger when you are spiritually dehydrated. I know how self-protection can harden into isolation if you leave it untouched too long. That is why I am not asking politely from a distance anymore. I am inviting you directly, personally, urgently. Come back to the place where your heart can breathe. Open your Bible and do not skim it like a duty. Open it like someone coming home. Kneel if you need to. Sit in silence if you need to. Cry if that is what rises. Turn the noise off. Put the phone down after this if you can. Step away from the pattern that has kept you numb. Do not just agree with these words emotionally and then return to the same rhythm unchanged. Move. Respond. Make this practical. Speak to me out loud if you need to. Tell me what you have been afraid to say. Tell me what has been controlling you. Tell me what keeps repeating in your mind. Tell me what you reach for when you feel empty. Tell me what you have been defending even though you know it is hurting you. I can handle your truth. In fact, your truth is where I begin. And when you give it to me, I will not leave you in the rawness of exposure. I will begin to bring order where there has been inner chaos. I will begin to cut through the confusion that has made you feel like you are always one step behind your own peace. I will begin to show you that the craving beneath your distractions was never really for those things at all. It was for me. It was for rest. It was for safety. It was for real love. It was for spiritual clarity. This is why I am asking more of you now than a passing emotional response. I want action. I want movement. I want your yes to become something tangible. Choose a moment after this and give it to me. Protect it. Guard it. Make it sacred. Do not let the enemy steal it with another delay. And as you do, remember this. The healing you need will not begin when you feel ready. It will begin when you stop running. It will begin when you stop rehearsing excuses and start offering me your real heart. Come, my child. Step out of the cycle. Let this be the moment you stop escaping and start returning. My child, as you step out of hiding and into truth, understand this. What I am doing in you is not meant to stop with you. The healing you begin today is a flame I desire to spread into the hearts of many who are still trapped in silent battles. When you give, you are sowing into that fire. You are placing oil into the lamp so that my word continues to shine in dark places. I tell you, as you give, it will be given back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And this is not distant. It is alive for you now. If your heart has been stirred, that stirring is my invitation. Partner with me in reaching the one still running. Your seed becomes bread for the hungry soul, light for the wandering mind, and water for the thirsty spirit. Do not dismiss this moment as small, for even the widow's offering moved heaven. If you feel the pull, respond. Support through super thanks. Become a member, or give through the PayPal link in the description. Act now, and let your obedience carry my healing further. My precious child, before I take you deeper, I need to settle something inside you that has been quietly distorting the way you hear me, because if you do not understand this clearly, you will keep mistaking my urgency for rejection and my nearness for danger. You have lived with so much internal pressure that even love can feel threatening when it comes too close. You have become so used to disappointment so familiar with criticism, so shaped by the pain of being misunderstood or let down, that when I speak directly, part of you braces yourself as if impact is coming. You expect correction without comfort. You expect truth without tenderness. You expect exposure without safety. That is why moments like this can make your heart tense even when what I am offering is mercy. So let me say it plainly in a way that leaves no room for confusion. I am not speaking to you like this because I have turned against you. I am speaking because I have not. I am speaking because I refuse to let you drift so far into numbness, compromise, fear, or quiet hopelessness that you begin to think distance from me is normal. You have interpreted some of my silences as disapproval, some of my delays as withdrawal, some of your hardships as proof that I stepped back. But I was still there, even in the places where your feelings told you otherwise. I was still there when you thought your prayers were falling into emptiness. I was still there when you made choices that left you ashamed. I was still there when you were angry and did not know how to talk to me honestly. I was still there when you gave more attention to the world than to your own soul. I was still there when you kept saying tomorrow to the things I was asking of you. That is what mercy looks like, my child. Mercy is not always soft in tone, but it is always steady in love. Mercy is what keeps reaching when you would have been justified in expecting silence. Mercy is what keeps knocking when you know you have delayed opening the door. Mercy is what stands in the path of your self-destruction and says, not one step farther. Come back now. I want you to hear that phrase deeply, because it matters. Come back now. Not because I am trying to frighten you into movement, but because I can see what happens if you keep hardening your heart in small ways. Hardness does not always begin as rebellion. Sometimes it begins as exhaustion. Sometimes it begins as disappointment. Sometimes it begins as subtle compromise, repeated often enough that conviction grows quieter. Sometimes it begins when you start calling something harmless just because you do not want to surrender it. That is why I come to you before the drift becomes a fall. That is why I speak before numbness becomes identity. That is why I interrupt before distance feels permanent. You call it an intense moment. Heaven calls it mercy. And I need you to stop seeing my correction as if it were proof that you are unloved. In truth, the very fact that I am correcting you is proof that I am still actively fathering you. If I had left you, I would not be speaking. If I had given up on you, I would not be pressing this deeply into your heart. But I am here, and I am asking you to let your guard come down enough to receive what this truly is, a holy rescue in a form you almost mistook for discomfort. Stay with me. Do not retreat into defensiveness. Do not explain everything away. Let my words land where your soul has been aching for someone to speak with both authority and compassion. Let this be the moment you stop interpreting love through the lens of your wounds and start recognizing the difference between condemnation and conviction. Condemnation pushes you away and tells you there is no point. Conviction pulls you closer and tells you there is still time to return. What you are feeling right now, if your heart is stirring, is not rejection. It is invitation. It is my hand extended toward you one more time, not because you earned another chance, but because my mercy has always been deeper than your failures. And now, my child, because I love you enough to tell you the truth and not just soothe you, I need you to understand what mercy is asking from you in this moment. Mercy is not merely comfort. Mercy is an invitation to respond. Mercy is a door, but you still must walk through it. Mercy can meet you, cover you, steady you, and restore you, but mercy will not force your obedience. That part is where your yes matters. This is why I do not want you to simply feel moved by these words and then return to your old rhythm unchanged. Emotion without response can become another form of avoidance, and you have done enough avoiding. I am asking you for something real now. I am asking you to stop negotiating with what I have already shown you is hurting you. I am asking you to stop treating conviction like a passing mood. I am asking you to stop using spiritual language to delay spiritual surrender. You know where I have been pressing on your heart. You know the habit that keeps stealing your peace. You know the relationship that confuses your spirit. You know the compromise that looks small but has grown roots. You know the places where you keep saying, "It is not that serious," even though your inner life has been paying the price. Do not look away from that now. Bring it to me directly. Name it. Do not hide behind vague prayers. Do not offer me general words when your soul knows the exact thing I am asking for. Be specific with me. Tell me, "Father, this is where I have been resisting you. This is where I have kept control. This is what I have not wanted to release." That kind of honesty opens the door wider than polished spiritual language ever could. And then, once you name it, act. Remove what needs removing. Step away from what needs stepping away from. Send the message you have been postponing. Delete what needs deleting. End what needs ending. Confess what needs confessing. Ask for help where pride has kept you isolated. Open the scriptures and stay there long enough for your mind to quiet down. Let my words wash over the places that have been fed by every other voice. Do not just say you want peace. Make room for peace. Do not just say you want freedom. Cooperate with freedom. Do not just say you want me close. Stop protecting the thing that is keeping you far from me. This is the practical edge of mercy, and this is where many people stop. They love the warmth of being reached, but they hesitate at the cost of being changed. I am asking you not to stop there. Let mercy complete its work in you. Let it lead you all the way into surrender. And hear me carefully, because I want your heart to rest even as I challenge you. If you respond, I will meet you in every step. I will not ask you to tear your life apart alone and then hope I appear afterward. I will be with you in the cutting away. I will be with you in the awkward silence after you release what was familiar. I will be with you in the grief of letting go. I will be with you in the rebuilding. I will be with you when temptation whispers that the old way was easier. I will be with you when your emotions fluctuate and your faith feels stretched. I will be with you as your inner world starts to breathe again. But I need your yes. Not a dramatic yes. Not a performative yes. A real yes. A quiet yes. A costly yes. A yes that changes what you do after this moment ends. That is the invitation before you. That is the mercy in front of you. So receive it fully, my beloved. Do not treat this like another moving moment you will remember but not honor. Let it become movement. Let it become obedience. Let it become the beginning of a life where you stop surviving at a distance and start living close enough to hear my voice without confusion. If this stirred you, then do not rush away. Pause after this. Put your hand over your heart if you need to. Take a slow breath and say it plainly to me. Father, I receive your mercy, and I will not waste this moment. That prayer matters. That choice matters. And I am ready to meet you in it. My beloved child, come even closer now, because I want to speak into one of the deepest misunderstandings that has shaped the way you have seen me. And if I do not untangle this inside you, you will keep carrying a false story about our journey together. You have looked back at certain seasons and interpreted the silence as distance. You have looked at unanswered prayers, closed doors, delayed promises, missed opportunities, broken relationships, and stretches of waiting that felt like endless wilderness. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, a quiet conclusion settled in your heart. Maybe he stepped away. Maybe I was not important enough. Maybe I prayed wrong. Maybe I waited too long. Maybe I lost what could have been. I know that thought. I heard it when you never said it out loud. I saw it in the way your hope became cautious. I saw it in the way you stopped expecting much from me because disappointment felt easier to manage than another letdown. But listen to me carefully now, because I need you to hear this like truth pouring into a thirsty place. I did not leave you in those delays. I was there in every single one of them. I was there when the door you begged me to open stayed shut. I was there when the phone never rang, when the answer never came, when the person you love drifted away, when the plan you built with such care collapsed like sand under heavy rain. I was there when you felt like you were watching life move for everyone else while your own story stood still. And what felt to you like abandonment was often protection in disguise. What looked like silence was sometimes me shielding you from a storm you could not yet see. What seemed like loss was often me refusing to hand you something too early, because I knew the weight of it would crush what was still fragile inside you. You wanted speed, but I was working in wisdom. You wanted immediate relief, but I was guarding your future. You wanted the visible answer, but I was dealing with invisible things first. That is why some of the hardest chapters in your life felt so confusing. You were reading them as punishment when they were often preparation. You were reading them as rejection when they were often rescue. I know that is hard for you to accept, because pain has a way of making every delay feel personal. It makes every silence sound like absence. It makes every closed door feel like a verdict. But I want you to picture this with me now, because I need your heart to see what your eyes could not see back then. Imagine yourself standing before a beautiful door, one you are certain will lead to joy, and your hand is reaching for the handle with urgency because you are tired, hopeful, desperate, ready for relief. And then I place my hand over yours and hold it still. To you, that feels cruel in the moment. To you, that feels like denial. But I am the only one who can see what is on the other side. I am the only one who can see the hidden fracture in the floor, the subtle poison in the promise, the wound it would deepen rather than heal. So I keep the door closed, not because I enjoy your tears, but because I love your life. That is what happened more times than you realize. Some of what you mourn was not your miracle dying. It was your father intercepting disaster. Some of what you called my chance slipping away was actually my child being preserved. I need you to let that settle. Do not rush past it. Let it breathe inside you. The delay that felt like a dead end may have been the detour that kept you alive. The relationship that ended may have been the release of something that would have poisoned your peace. The opportunity that disappeared may have been the hand of mercy removing a glittering trap. The timing that offended your understanding may have been the very thing that preserved your purpose. So stop, right now, and let me ask you to do something bold. Revisit those old seasons with me. Do not revisit them alone, through the lens of pain. Revisit them with me, through the lens of truth. Invite me into those memories. Say to me, Father, show me where you were when I thought you were gone. That prayer is powerful. That prayer can heal places in you that have been locked for years. That prayer can turn resentment into reverence, confusion into clarity, heartbreak into holy understanding. Let me reintroduce myself to your past, because you have been carrying a version of the story that leaves me out of the very chapters where I was closest. And I do not want you walking into your future with a false picture of who I was in your pain. And now, my child, because I love you enough not only to comfort you but to correct the way you carry your memories, I want you to stop using old delays as proof that new promises will fail. That habit has become a hidden handbrake in your spirit. It has made you cautious when I ask you to trust. It has made you slow to believe when I speak hope over you. It has made you protect yourself from joy because you are afraid joy will embarrass you again. You have let past waiting seasons teach you the wrong lesson. Instead of learning that I was faithful in mystery, you learned to lower your expectations. Instead of learning that I was refining your roots, you taught yourself not to hope too deeply. That is why some part of you hears me now and still whispers, but what if nothing changes? What if this becomes another moment I feel and then lose? I know that voice. It is the voice of bruised belief. It is the voice of someone who wanted to trust boldly and got tired of carrying fragile hope through long winters. But I am asking you now, firmly and tenderly, to stop feeding that voice as if it were wisdom. It is not wisdom. It is weariness dressed in caution. And weariness can sound sensible while quietly keeping you from the very thing you need. So listen carefully and receive this like a seed planted in deep ground. Your delay was not a denial of my love, and your waiting was not wasted. In fact, some of the strongest parts of you were formed there. The nights you thought were empty were filling you with endurance. The seasons where you lacked visible movement were deepening your roots where no one could see. The closed doors taught you discernment. The betrayals taught you where not to build your identity. The disappointments exposed how much you were leaning on things that could never carry the full weight of your heart. Even your tears were not useless. I collected them. I watched them fall. I let them water ground you could not yet see. And now I need you to cooperate with what I am doing next. Stop calling yourself forgotten. Stop rehearsing the language of abandonment. Stop introducing your future to the vocabulary of your old wounds. Do not walk into the next chapter saying, I know how this ends. You do not know how this ends. I do. And I am not writing this chapter with the same conditions that once hurt you. I'm asking you now to take practical steps of trust. Open your hands. Release the timelines you have been gripping. Stop demanding that I prove my love in the exact format you expected. Let me be God in your story, not just the fulfiller of your preferred sequence. Write down the doors that closed and ask me what each one protected you from. Think back on the prayers that seemed unanswered and ask me what I was building underneath the silence. Sit with me and let me reinterpret your history. Then do one more thing, and do not delay it. Begin thanking me for what you do not yet understand. Not fake gratitude. Not forced positivity. Real surrendering gratitude. Say, Father, if you closed it, I trust you. If you delayed it, I trust you. If you withheld it, I trust that you were kind even when I did not understand. That kind of prayer changes a person. It does not erase the ache overnight, but it repositions the heart. It takes you out of accusation and into alignment. It turns your inner world from clenched fists into open hands. And when your hands are open, I can place new things in them. Do not miss that. I cannot place new peace in a fist still clutching old offense. I cannot pour new clarity into a heart still narrating itself as abandoned. Let go. Release the old interpretation. Let me rewrite the meaning of your delays. Because what I protected in you matters more than what I postponed around you. Your soul mattered. Your character mattered. Your timing mattered. Your future mattered. And I was never late. I was loving you in ways you could not measure. So breathe now, my child. Exhale the old bitterness. Unclench the old pain. Stop treating every silence like separation. Sometimes the silence was sacred. Sometimes the waiting was holy. Sometimes the pause was my hand over your life saying, not yet, because I love you too much to let you enter that too soon. Let that truth settle deep. Let it steady you. And as you move forward from this point, do not look at the road behind you with the eyes of loss anymore. Look at it with the eyes of someone beginning to realize that even in the longest delays, I was never absent. I was active. I was near. I was guarding more than you knew. My child, now that your eyes are opening to how I have protected you even in delay, I want you to see this moment as a door of participation, not just revelation. What I preserved in you, I now desire to pour through you, like a river that refuses to remain contained. When you give, you're sowing into ground that brings clarity to the confused, hope to the weary, and truth to those still misreading their story. I declare over you, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and your seed will not fall to the ground unnoticed. This is your invitation. Join me in turning hidden protection into visible impact. Let your generosity become a testimony that you trust me not only with your past, but with your provision. Support this mission through super thanks, step into deeper partnership through membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description. Do not delay. Move now, and let your giving echo into lives you may never see, but I fully know. My beloved child, stay close now, because I want to uncover something you have felt but may not have fully understood. There has been a fight around your attention, and it has not been accidental. You have often thought you were simply tired, busy, overwhelmed, emotionally stretched, mentally crowded, or naturally scattered. Sometimes that was true on the surface. But beneath that, there has also been a deeper battle, one that has quietly shaped the atmosphere of your days. The enemy has not needed to destroy you outright if he could keep you distracted just enough to remain spiritually dull. He has not needed to drag you into obvious darkness if he could keep you slightly numb, slightly rushed, slightly noisy, slightly entertained, slightly preoccupied, slightly unfocused. He knows what happens when you truly hear me. He knows what happens when your soul grows still enough for my voice to cut through the fog. He knows what happens when you stop living from reaction and start living from revelation. He knows that one real encounter with me can do what years of surface-level coping could never do. He knows that one surrendered moment can break chains that have wrapped around your mind so slowly you started calling them personality. He knows that when you truly hear me, confusion begins to lose its grip. Compromise starts to feel heavy again. False comforts stop tasting sweet. And the things that once controlled you begin to look smaller under the light of truth. That is why so much of your life has felt like static. That is why moments of clarity often get interrupted. That is why you can be moved deeply and then suddenly pulled away into noise, urgency, trivial things, unnecessary scrolling, emotional spirals, random conversations, mental clutter, familiar temptations, or a sudden heaviness that whispers, later. I need you to stop treating that pattern as normal. It is not harmless. It is not neutral. It is not just modern life. Some of it hath been warfare. Not dramatic in the way movies portray it, but subtle, strategic, and persistent. The enemy loves a crowded mind because a crowded mind struggles to discern. He loves a restless heart because a restless heart is easier to mislead. He loves constant stimulation because a constantly stimulated soul rarely sits still long enough to receive correction, comfort, or conviction. He loves spiritual procrastination because later has delayed more destinies than outright rebellion ever did. That is why I am speaking to you so directly now. I want you to see the pattern for what it is. I want you to stop blaming yourself in vague ways and start discerning clearly. This is not about paranoia. This is about awareness. You do not need to become afraid of every distraction, but you do need to stop underestimating what distraction can do when it becomes a lifestyle. It can thin your discernment. It can blunt your hunger. It can make truth feel less urgent than comfort. It can make prayer feel optional. It can make silence feel threatening. It can make my voice feel distant when I have actually been speaking the whole time. So hear me now, and receive this as both command and invitation. Take back your attention. Guard it. Protect it. Treat it like sacred territory. Do not hand your mind to every voice that asks for it. Do not let your peace be negotiated by every notification, every mood, every fear, every memory, every craving, every outside opinion. Pull back. Get quiet. Step away from what keeps stealing your inner life. Turn off what does not feed your spirit. Fast from what has become too loud. If something consistently leaves you scattered, limit it. If something consistently dulls your hunger for me, confront it. If something always shows up the moment you try to pray, notice it. If something keeps pulling you into the same mental swamp, stop calling it random. This is the hour to become alert. This is the hour to become intentional. I am not asking you to live tense. I'm asking you to live awake. Because the enemy is not afraid of your intentions if they never become boundaries. He is not threatened by your emotional agreement if it never becomes disciplined response. So act now. Make room. Clear space. Defend your inner world. The breakthrough you keep asking for may begin with the simple but holy act of reclaiming your attention from everything that has been draining it. And my child, once you begin to see the battle clearly, I want you to understand what is on the other side of that clarity, because I am not calling you into vigilance just to make you serious. I am calling you into freedom. When you take back your attention, you are not becoming rigid. You are becoming available. You are becoming the kind of person who can actually hear my whisper without needing me to shout over the noise. You are becoming the kind of soul that can feel conviction before compromise grows roots. You are becoming the kind of heart that recognizes peace not as a rare event, but as a place of dwelling. This is why I want more than agreement from you right now. I want action. I want movement. I want you to build simple, sacred habits that make it easier for you to hear me and harder for distraction to dominate you. Start small, but start seriously. Choose a daily window that belongs to me before it belongs to the world. Guard it. Do not negotiate with it. Do not let your phone be the first voice in your day if you want my peace to be the atmosphere of your thoughts. Wake up and give me your first few minutes, even if they feel imperfect. Sit with me before the world starts shouting. Open the word before you open the noise. Let my truth be the first thing that shapes your mind. If evenings are where you unravel, then create holy order there too. Do not hand the last moments of your day to chaos and then wonder why your rest feels invaded. Invite me into the close of your day. Speak with me. Release what you carried. Lay your mind down with me instead of under the weight of everything unfinished. And while you do these things, I want you to pay attention to the little contrasts I have been showing you. Notice how heavy you feel after feeding what drains you. Notice how clear you feel after sitting with me. Notice the difference between the noise that leaves you numb and the quiet that leaves you restored. That contrast matters. It is one of the ways I teach you discernment. One path leaves you hollow, even if it is momentarily entertaining. The other may feel sore at first, but it leaves you stronger, softer, cleaner, steadier. Choose the path that leaves your spirit alive. And do not underestimate the power of simple acts. A small daily surrender can become a mighty turning point. A protected 10 minutes can become the place where your whole inner world begins to shift. A single decision to put down what has ruled your attention can become the first crack in a chain you thought was permanent. That is why I am inviting you now, personally and directly, build a listening life with me. Do not wait for emergencies to become spiritual. Do not wait for collapse to become prayerful. Come close while things are still moving, while choices are still available, while your heart is still tender enough to respond. And if you feel resistance while reading this, do not ignore that either. Resistance often reveals what has had too much access. If something in you says, "This is too much, I cannot do this, I will start later, maybe tomorrow," recognize that voice. Challenge it. Do not obey automatically. Speak back with truth. Say, "No, I am done giving away what belongs to God." Say, "No, I will not let my attention be stolen again." Say, "Father, teach me how to live awake." That prayer matters. That declaration matters. And as you begin, do not expect perfection from yourself. Expect process. Expect growth. Expect some resistance. Expect me to meet you there. If you stumble, return quickly. If you begin again. If you drift, come back sooner. This is not about becoming flawless overnight. This is about becoming aware enough to stop living unconsciously. It is about stepping out of spiritual sleep and into holy sensitivity. It is about learning the sound of my voice so deeply that even in a crowded world, you can still recognize when I am speaking your name. That is what the enemy fears. Not your emotion, not your intentions, your clarity, your consistency, your closeness to me. Because when you truly hear me, my child, the fog starts lifting, the lies start shrinking, the chains start loosening. The room inside you that once felt dark begins to fill with light. And once that light starts filling the room, the darkness cannot stay comfortable there anymore. So do not let this be another moment you nod at and move past. Respond. Create the boundary. Protect the space. Turn down the noise. Return to me. Let this be the chapter where you stop living at the mercy of distraction and start living in the power of deliberate closeness. I am here. I am speaking. And if you make room for me, you will hear me more clearly than you have in a long time. My beloved child, come nearer and let me speak to the place in you that has quietly accepted a lie so often it has begun to sound like wisdom. You have been telling yourself, in ways both obvious and subtle, that you are late. Late to heal. Late to obey. Late to start over. Late to become who you were meant to be. Late to recover what was lost. Late to step into purpose. Late to respond to me with the kind of wholeheartedness you once imagined you would have by now. I know how that thought formed. It did not appear all at once. It built itself slowly through comparison, regret, missed years, old compromises, delayed obedience, and the ache of looking at your life and feeling the weight of what could have been. You have measured yourself against timelines that were never meant to be your master. You have looked at other people's progress, other people's clarity, other people's confidence, other people's apparent blessings, and you have quietly concluded that you somehow missed the train, that the door shut while you were still trying to get your footing, that the version of you I intended has been permanently reduced by the years you spent surviving. But I need you to hear me now with all the tenderness and authority of a father who sees farther than your regret ever could. You are not too late. You are not behind in the way you think you are. You are not disqualified because the path took longer than you wanted. You are not ruined because the road was messy. And you are not standing in front of scraps while everyone else received substance. What you call late is often simply the point where your heart has finally become honest enough to receive what your earlier self would have mishandled. That may sting a little, but it is mercy. If I had given some things to you when you first demanded them, you would have worn them like decorations instead of stewarding them like sacred assignments. If I had answered every prayer in the first moment you cried it, you might have celebrated the gift and missed the giver. If I had opened every door when your ambition was still louder than your surrender, You might have stepped into visible success while staying inwardly fragile. So yes, there were delays. Yes, there were years that feel blurred by pain, confusion, distraction, or compromise. Yes, there were seasons where you wandered longer than you wanted. But do not mistake the wilderness for waste. Do not reduce my faithfulness to your frustration. I was not standing at a distance watching the clock while your life slipped away. I was preserving you. I was keeping certain parts of you alive when other things in your world looked barren. I was protecting your calling under layers of disappointment. I was teaching you how to recognize what is real. I was thinning out your dependence on things that could not carry your soul. I was letting the false versions of yourself become exhausting enough that you would finally stop defending them. That is not abandonment. That is holy preservation. Picture a seed buried deep in winter soil. To the eye that does not understand seasons, it looks forgotten. It looks still. It looks lost under cold ground. But the hidden life inside it has not died. It has been held. It has been kept. It has been preserved for the moment when the right warmth, the right rain, the right timing, the right light arrive. That is closer to your story than you realize. Some of what you thought was dead was simply underground. Some of what you mourned as gone was only hidden. Some of what you thought I removed forever I was actually reserving until you could carry it without losing yourself in it. So stop speaking over your life as if your story is mostly a cautionary tale. Stop introducing yourself to your future as someone who almost became what I intended. Stop using the language of expiration over what I still call alive. You are not expired. You are not spiritually outdated. You are not the leftover version of the life I meant for you. You are standing in a holy threshold, and I want you to stop looking backward long enough to recognize it. Come here. Put your regret down. Bring me the years you keep replaying. Bring me the memories that tighten your chest. Bring me the old decisions you keep using as evidence against yourself. Do not hide them. Hand them to me. Say it plainly. Father, I have called myself late, but I want to believe you are still on time. That prayer is not small. That prayer is a turning key. Let me touch the places where regret hath been masquerading as humility. Let me break the agreement you made with the lie that your best chance is behind you. It is not. I am still writing. I am still moving. I am still able to restore years, not just moments. And I do not restore by pretending the pain never happened. I restore by weaving it into wisdom, depth, compassion, and spiritual strength that a smoother road could never have produced. And now, my child, because I do not want this to remain a beautiful thought that comforts you for a moment and then fades, I need you to respond in a practical, courageous way. Stop rehearsing the story of what you lost and begin participating in what I am reviving. I want movement from you now. I want action that proves your heart is no longer kneeling before regret. Take inventory, not with shame, but with clarity. Look honestly at the places where you have been saying too late and let me challenge each one. Is it your prayer life? Then begin again tonight, not tomorrow. Is it your purpose? Then stop waiting for a perfect blueprint and take the next faithful step that is already in front of you. Is it your healing? Then stop protecting the wound and invite me into it with full honesty. Is it a calling you buried because life became heavy? Then uncover it. Dust it off. Do not stare at the dust and call it death. Breathe on it with faith. Put your hands to what I have already put in your heart. Write the page. Make the call. Start the study. Return to the scripture. Rebuild the discipline. End the compromise. Ask for help. Seek wise counsel. Step away from the voice that keeps narrating your life through failure. Replace it with mine. I am not asking you to sprint into destiny in one emotional rush. I am asking you to stop using delay as permission for passivity. There is a difference. And I want you to notice something important as you begin. When you obey now, it will not feel the same as it would have years ago. There is a depth in you that came through surviving. There is a sobriety in you that came through losing illusions. There is a tenderness in you that came through breaking and being held. There is a discernment in you that came through watching glittering things fail to satisfy. It means you are not returning as the same person who once wanted the blessing. You are arriving as someone more able to carry it. That matters. That is why the enemy has worked so hard to keep you under the spell of too late. He knows that if you ever truly believe I can redeem years, not just days, your hope will become dangerous to darkness. He knows that if you stop calling your past the final authority, your future will start breathing again. He knows that if you take even one real step out of regret and into obedience, the ground under your feet will begin to shift. So do not wait for all the feelings to line up. Do not demand perfect confidence before you move. Sometimes obedience must begin while your emotions are still catching up. That is not hypocrisy. That is maturity. Stand up now in your spirit and say, I will not worship what I lost. I will walk with what God is restoring. Speak it with your own voice if you need to. Write it down. Put it where you can see it. And then make one decision before this day ends that proves you believe me more than your regret. Just one. Let it be tangible. Let it cost something. Let it interrupt the old pattern. Because every restored life begins with a real yes somewhere. A yes that may look small to the world, but heaven knows it as the beginning of a new chapter. And hear me carefully as you move. I am not asking you to deny the pain of the years behind you. I am asking you to stop bowing to them. I am not asking you to pretend nothing was lost. I am asking you to let me show you that not everything was destroyed. There is still oil in your vessel. There is still breath in your calling. There is still strength in your spirit. There is still tenderness in your heart that the enemy could not fully harden. There is still purpose in your life that time did not erase. There is still fruit waiting in places you thought had turned barren. I can restore what locusts consumed. I can rebuild what fear delayed. I can renew what shame made you hide. I can bring life to what sat under the soil longer than expected. So rise, my child. Lift your eyes. Stop speaking funeral language over a future I still call alive. Open your hands. Receive the timing you are in now. It is not second best. It is not the leftover chapter. It is not the apology version of your calling. It is the moment I have preserved you for. Walk into it. Trust me in it. And do not call yourself late again when I am the one who still calls you chosen. My child, as you rise from the lie of too late, understand that your restoration is also a resource for others still bound by that same lie. I am not only redeeming your years, I am multiplying their impact, turning what was hidden into a harvest that feeds many. When you give, you are planting seeds into a field of restoration, where broken timelines are rewritten and weary hearts are revived. I speak to you now. I restore the years the locust has eaten, and I will multiply what you place in my hands. This is your moment to move from regret into purpose, from receiving into releasing. Let your seed become rain on dry ground, oil in empty vessels, and fire in dim spirits. If your heart feels this, it is not coincidence, it is calling. Give through super thanks. Stand with this mission through membership. We're so through the PayPal link in the description. Step forward now and let your obedience prove that your story is not ending. It is overflowing. My beloved child, Stay here with me because I need to speak to the place in your heart where you have been holding something too tightly, and the longer you keep gripping it, the harder it becomes for you to understand why your peace feels blocked. You have asked me for freedom while still protecting the thing that keeps you tangled. You have asked me for clarity while continuing to entertain what clouds your spirit. You have asked me for peace while refusing to release the source of your unrest. And I say this to you with tenderness, not accusation, because I know why your hands are still closed. It is not always because you are rebellious. Sometimes it is because you are afraid. Afraid that if you let go, you will feel the full weight of the emptiness you have been avoiding. Afraid that if you release that relationship, that habit, that pattern, that fantasy, that attachment, that identity, that coping mechanism, that place of control, you will be left standing in silence with no immediate comfort. Afraid that if you surrender the thing that has become familiar, even if it hurts you, you will not know how to live without it. Familiar pain can feel safer than unfamiliar freedom when a soul has been wounded for a long time. I know that. I know how the heart bargains. I know how it says, this hurts me, but it is mine. This strains me, but it is known. This confuses me, but at least it is there. And that is why I am coming to you directly now. I do not want you to mistake attachment for life. I do not want you to confuse familiarity with faithfulness. I do not want you to keep calling something necessary when it has quietly become a chain. Some chains do not feel like chains at first. Some are wrapped in affection, memory, chemistry, comfort, routine, nostalgia, self-protection, desire, pride, or the illusion of control. Some chains do not clang loudly. They feel soft in the beginning. They feel manageable. They feel like something you can carry without consequence. But over time they tighten. Over time they influence how you think, how you choose, how you pray, how you respond to me, how you see yourself, how you handle loneliness, how you approach pain. And because they tighten slowly, you adjust to the restriction until bondage starts to feel like normal life. That is where some of you have been. You have adapted to what should have alarmed you. You have normalized what should have driven you to surrender. You have made peace with what has been stealing from you. But I am interrupting that agreement now. I am putting my hand on the chain and saying, this cannot come with you where I am taking you. Listen to the seriousness in my love. I am not asking you to consider it casually. I am not asking you to pray about whether to obey what I have already made clear. I am telling you now, because mercy is still speaking before the damage deepens. Release it. Open your hand. Stop stroking the chain as if it were comfort. Stop polishing the prison as if it were home. Stop defending what is draining your spirit. If you already know what I am speaking about, do not pretend you need more confirmation. You know. That restlessness when you touch it, return to it, think about it, protect it, excuse it, revisit it, or hide it, that is not random. That is conviction. That is my spirit pressing on the exact place where freedom must begin. So let me make this plain. The thing you fear losing may not be the thing that gives you life. It may be the thing that keeps interrupting it. The relationship you keep calling complicated. The habit you keep calling manageable. The pattern you keep calling temporary. The bitterness you keep calling justified. The need for control you keep calling responsibility. The image you keep protecting because you do not know who you are without it. Bring it into the light. Do not let it sit unnamed in the corner of your soul. Name it. Hold it before me. And then listen. I will not pry it from your hands like a tyrant. I am asking you to trust me enough to release it willingly. That is where freedom becomes holy. That is where surrender becomes intimate. And yes, it may hurt for a moment. It may feel like grief. It may feel like withdrawal. It may feel like losing something you once leaned on. But some losses are actually surgeries. Some endings are acts of rescue. Some releases are the first breath of real peace. Do not confuse the pain of detachment with the pain of destruction. They are not the same. One wounds to heal. The other wounds to consume. I am not trying to consume you. I am trying to free you. And now, my child, because I want you to move beyond emotional recognition and into actual release, I am asking you to do something that may feel uncomfortable but will become sacred if you obey it. Make the release real. Do not keep it in vague language. Do not say, Lord, take whatever is not for me, while still secretly guarding the very thing I have already shown you. Be specific. Be brave. Be honest. If it is a relationship, stop feeding the connection that keeps confusing your spirit. Set the boundary. Send the message. Step back. Stop returning to the conversation for another hit of emotional familiarity. If it is a habit, remove access. Delete the path. Cut off the easy return. Put distance between you and the thing that has had too much access to your weakness. If it is bitterness, stop feeding the private courtroom in your mind where you keep replaying what they did. Bring the injustice to me, and let me carry what vengeance hath been doing to your heart. If it is control, loosen your grip on the outcome you have been trying to force. Stop managing every angle and calling that trust. Trust often looks quieter than control. If it is an identity you have built around being the strong one, the needed one, the wounded one, the overlooked one, the self-protective one, the one who never fully opens up, bring that to me too. Sometimes the chain is not just what you do. Sometimes it is who you think you must remain in order to survive. But I did not call you to survive inside a false self. I called you to live in truth. That is why I want more than your tears here. I want your obedience. I want you to make a cut where I have already applied conviction. I want you to stop revisiting the same altar with half surrenders and delayed offerings. Cut the whole thing down. Lay it there. Let it be costly if it needs to be. The cross was costly. Freedom often is. But hear me with the tenderness you need right now. I will meet you in the empty space that follows. That is what you are most afraid of, isn't it? The silence after release. The ache after the boundary. The tremble after the deletion. The loneliness after the goodbye. The vulnerable space where the old comfort is gone and the new peace has not yet fully settled. I know that place. And I am telling you now, I will be there before you arrive. I will not ask you to release what is harming you and then leave you unsupported in the ache. I will fill what I ask you to empty. I will comfort what I ask you to cut away from. I will steady what trembles after obedience. But I need you to stop making agreements with what keeps you spiritually weak. This is your moment to break the pattern. This is your moment to stop saying, maybe soon, and say today. This is your moment to choose the pain of surrender over the pain of staying stuck. And if you need help doing it, ask me plainly. Say, Father, strengthen my hands to release what I keep holding. Say, Father, give me courage for the cut. Say, Father, fill the space after I let go. Those are real prayers. Those are strong prayers. Those are prayers I answer. And act. Do not leave this as inspiration. Turn it into movement. Before this day ends, do one concrete thing that proves the release has begun. One step. One boundary. One deletion. One confession. One ending. One surrender. And once you do not run back to the chain because the first few moments feel strange. Let the strangeness pass. Let the craving lose strength. Let the soul adjust. Let my peace move in. There is a kind of quiet that only comes after something false finally leaves. There is a kind of clarity that only arrives after the fog source is removed. There is a kind of breath that only comes when the hand finally opens. I want that for you. More than that, I have that for you. So release it now, my beloved. Not because I want to take joy from you, but because I want to give you the kind of joy that is not poison you on the way in. Not because I want to leave you with less, but because I want to free your hands for what is true. Trust me enough to let go. Trust me enough to obey quickly. Trust me enough to believe that what I ask you to release is never greater than what I am preparing to place in your open hands. My beloved child, stay with me now, because I need to speak with a seriousness that is loving, not cruel, and direct, not condemning. There are moments in your life that feel ordinary on the outside, but carry enormous spiritual weight underneath, and this is one of them. You may be reading these words in a quiet room, in the middle of a busy day, during a restless night, while the world around you continues exactly as it was a few minutes ago. Nothing outward may seem dramatic. No thunder. No shaking walls. No visible sign that heaven has interrupted your routine. Yet inside, something weighty is happening. This is not just another emotional moment. This is not simply one more stirring message that brushes past your heart and disappears into memory. This is a crossroads. This is one of those rare moments where what you do next matters more than you realize. And because I love you, I will not soften the truth so much that you miss the urgency. If you ignore what I am saying now, the pain will deepen. Not because I want to punish you. Not because I am angry and waiting to strike. Not because I am turning against you. The pain will deepen because whatever remains unhealed tends to spread. Whatever remains hidden tends to grow roots. Whatever you keep postponing eventually shapes the atmosphere of your life. You already know this in part because you have lived it. The thing you once thought was small became a pattern. The pattern became a weight. The weight became part of your inner climate. What began as a moment of compromise became a cycle. What began as one wound became a lens. What began as one disappointment became a way of interpreting everything. That is how the soul gets dim without realizing it. That is how numbness becomes familiar. That is how people slowly start living beneath what I intended, while still calling it normal. And I do not want that for you. I will not watch you normalize what is breaking you and stay silent just to keep you comfortable. That would not be love. Love warns. Love interrupts. Love says, stop here. Do not keep walking in that direction. Turn now. That is what I am doing with you. I am standing in your path with mercy in my voice and truth in my hands, saying, do not let this become another moment you feel and then forget. You have had enough of those. You have felt conviction before and talked yourself out of it by morning. You have sensed my nearness before and let the noise swallow it by the next hour. You have promised yourself you would change something after the emotion settled, and then you slipped back into the same rhythm because comfort called louder than courage. But I am asking you not to do that this time. Do not touch this moment lightly. Do not call it beautiful and then walk away unchanged. Do not say, I know I need to deal with that, and then return to the same habits before this day ends. If you do, you will not stay where you are. You will drift farther. That is the part many people do not understand. There is no neutral ground once truth has been made clear. When I bring light to a place and you keep choosing darkness there, the darkness does not stay still. It gains permission. It grows bolder. It becomes easier to ignore conviction next time. It becomes easier to rationalize. It becomes easier to call your compromised personality your numbness maturity, your distance normal, your delay wisdom. That is why I am speaking with urgency. I am not threatening you. I am revealing mistakes. I am telling you that what you call just one more delay may actually be the strengthening of the very thing you have been begging me to break. So stop now. Put your hand over your heart if you need to. Breathe. Do not scroll away in your spirit. Do not let your mind start planning the next thing. Stay present with me. Let the weight of this settle. This is a holy interruption. This is a rescue before the wound deepens. This is the voice of your Father refusing to let you keep calling survival peace. And I need you to hear one more thing before you move. The pain does not have to deepen. It really does not. If you respond now, healing can begin now. Not because all consequences vanish instantly. Not because every emotion changes in 1 second. But because the moment you stop resisting truth, the current changes. The moment you step out of hiding, the process shifts. The moment you say yes where you once delayed, the atmosphere inside you begins to move. Healing often begins quietly, but it begins immediately. The instant your heart stops negotiating with what I have already shown you, the work of restoration starts. So do not fear the seriousness of this moment. Use it. Honor it. Respond to it. Let this be the moment where you stop asking whether change is possible and start cooperating with it. And now, my child, because I want you to leave this point with more than intensity, I want to show you how immediate healing actually begins. So you do not wait for some dramatic sensation before obeying. Healing begins the moment you stop hiding. Healing begins the moment you stop calling the wound by softer names so you do not have to confront it. Healing begins when you bring the real thing into the light. That means I am asking you, right now, not later, to identify what this message has been pressing on in you. Do not be vague. Is it a secret habit? Name it. Is it a draining attachment? Name it. Is it bitterness you keep protecting because pain made it feel justified? Name it. Is it fear that has shaped your choices so deeply you now call it discernment? Name it. Is it spiritual laziness that you keep disguising as exhaustion? Name it. Is it the constant distraction that has been stealing your intimacy with me? Name it. I can do more with your honest naming than with your polished spiritual language. Then, once you name it, do not stop there. Invite me in with a real response. Say, Father, this is it. This is the place. I will not hide it anymore. That is where healing starts to move. Then act in the natural so I can move in the deeper places. If it needs confession, confess it. If it needs a boundary, create it. If it needs deletion, delete it. If it needs distance, take it. If it needs a conversation, have it. If it needs surrender, offer it without bargaining. If it needs stillness, sit down and let me meet you there. I want more than your tears. I want your participation. I want the kind of response that tells heaven, I am done protecting the very thing that has been hurting me. And as you respond, I want you to expect something. Expect resistance. Expect your flesh to argue. Expect old patterns to whisper, this is too much. You can do this tomorrow. You do not need to be that serious. That voice is familiar, and you must stop treating it like your friend. Challenge it. Speak over it. Take note. Today I choose life. Today I choose truth. Today I choose to stop bleeding in the place where healing was offered, and then keep moving. Do not wait until you feel fully strong. Strength often meets you in motion. Courage is rarely born in comfort. Peace frequently arrives after obedience has already begun. This is why I am asking you to trust my heart when the next few hours feel unusually important. Protect them. Do not let this moment dissolve into distraction. If possible, step away from the noise after this. Turn off what does not matter. Sit with me. Open the Word. Let my truth anchor what your emotions may try to shake. Write down what I have shown you. Write the specific thing. Write the specific step. Write the specific release. And do it. Let this become tangible. Let this become costly if it needs to be. Let this become the dividing line between the old pattern and the new chapter. Because I tell you honestly, there are moments when a life changes not through spectacle, but through a private yes that no one else sees. A hidden surrender. A boundary set in secret. A confession made in tears. A phone put down. A relationship released. A habit interrupted. A prayer finally spoken with no pretending left. That is where transformation often begins. Widely. Deeply. Powerfully. And when it begins, you may not have fireworks, but you will sense something. A shift. A breath. A softening. A clarity. A strange steadiness where chaos once lived. That is me. That is what it feels like when healing begins to enter the room. So choose now, my beloved. Do not keep one foot in the old life and one foot in the doorway of freedom. Step fully. Come through. Let the seriousness of this moment become the mercy of your turning. And if you need words for the beginning, pray this in your own heart before you move on. Father, I will not waste this warning. I will not delay this healing. I receive your interruption, and I choose to respond now. That prayer matters. That choice matters. And I am already waiting on the other side of your obedience, with the peace you have been longing for. Allow silence to remain. When you give, you are choosing light over darkness, movement over stagnation, healing over delay, not just for yourself, but for countless others. I say to you, give, and it shall be given unto you. And this promise breathes over your obedience even now. This is not a casual opportunity. It is a divine intersection where your action unlocks greater reach for my word. Let your offering become a sword against despair and a lamp for those still lost in confusion. If you feel the urgency, honor it. Do not let it fade. Support through super thanks, join through membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description. Act now, and let this moment mark not only your healing but your participation in mine. My beloved child, come closer again, and let your breathing slow, because I need to speak gently into a misunderstanding that has kept many of your responses to me incomplete. You have often mistaken my call for surrender as a demand for instant perfection, and that misunderstanding has made you hesitate at the very door where grace was waiting for you. You have thought, sometimes consciously and sometimes deep underneath your thoughts, that if you truly come close to me, you must arrive polished, consistent, spiritually disciplined, emotionally stable, free from contradiction, already victorious over every struggle, already clear, already strong, already fixed. You have imagined that wholehearted surrender means you must become an ideal version of yourself before you are qualified to come deeply into my presence. And because you know your own inconsistencies, because you know the places where you still struggle, because you know the habits that still tug at you, the doubts that still visit, the emotions that still swing, the places where you are still healing, you have often chosen distance over honest closeness. You have told yourself, I need to get myself together first. You have promised, I will come fully when I am stronger. You have whispered, I cannot give him all of me yet because not all of me is clean enough. But listen to me carefully, because I want this truth to go deeper than your emotions and settle into the bones of your soul. I am not asking you for perfection. I am asking you for your whole heart. There is a world of difference between those two things, and if you confuse them, you will keep standing outside doors I already opened for you. Perfection says, fix yourself before you come. My love says, come honestly, and let me meet you in what still needs healing. Perfection says, hide the unfinished places until they are impressive. My grace says, bring me the unfinished places because that is where I want to work. Perfection says, do not let me see your trembling. I say, bring me your trembling hands. Bring me your inconsistent prayers. Bring me your tired mind. Bring me the part of you that still wants me even while another part is afraid. That is what I mean by your whole heart. Not a flawless heart. Not a poly heart. A whole one. An honest one. A yielded one. A heart that stops splitting itself between wanting me and protecting the very things that keep you from deeper intimacy. A heart that stops offering me the cleaned up room while locking the messy rooms from the inside. I see all the rooms anyway, my child. I am not fooled by your selective openness. And I say that with tenderness, not criticism, because I understand why you do it. You fear exposure. You fear disappointment. You fear saying yes to me and then stumbling again. You fear making promises you might not keep. You fear that if you come all the way in, your weakness will be seen more clearly than ever. But what if the very place you fear being seen is the very place where my healing wants to rest? What if your whole heart, even with its bruises and contradictions, is more precious to me than your best spiritual performance? What if the thing I have been waiting for is not your perfect consistency, but your honest surrender? Let that question sit with you, because many times you have withheld yourself from deep intimacy with me not out of rebellion, but out of shame dressed like reverence. You thought you were being respectful by staying back until you were better. But I am your father. I do not want respectful distance when what I am offering is restorative closeness. Come as you are, yes, but do not stop there. Come as you are and let me change what needs changing. Come with the struggle, but stop defending it. Come with the weakness, but stop building your identity around it. Come with the questions, but stop using them as an excuse for spiritual passivity. Bring me all of it. Bring me the good desire and the bad habit. Bring me the sincere hunger and the resistant flesh. Bring me the hope and the fear that keeps interrupting it. Bring me the part of you that loves me and the part of you that still does not know how to trust fully. That is what I can work with. That is what I can transform. A divided heart can be healed, but only when it stops pretending it is already whole. So come. Stop standing outside because you think I require the finished version of you. I am the one who finishes what I start. Your job is not to arrive complete. Your job is to stop hiding and come all the way in. And now, my child, because I do not want this truth to become an excuse for passivity, I need to show you what wholehearted surrender actually looks like in real life. Wholehearted surrender does not mean you never struggle again. It means you stop making secret agreements with the struggle. It means you stop giving me part of your yes while reserving the right to protect what I have asked you to release. It means you stop saying, Lord, take over, while quietly deciding which rooms remain off limits. Wholehearted surrender is not emotional intensity alone. It is access. It is permission. It is you saying, Father, every room is yours now. Even the room I am embarrassed by. Even the room I am afraid you will touch. Even the room where I keep the old memories, the hidden habits, the resentments, the fantasies, the regrets, the pride, the fear, the need for control. That is why I am asking you right now to do something simple but spiritually weighty. Picture your inner life like a house. Walk through it with me. Do not rush. Yo room by room. There is the room where you appear strong to everyone else. There is the room where your private thoughts get dark. There is the room where old wounds still speak. There is the room where your appetite for comfort has outrun your appetite for truth. There is the room where you still grieve what you never got. There is the room where shame whispers. There is the room where your ambition competes with your surrender. There is the room where you keep the image of who you think you must be. There is the room where your fear of disappointment keeps you from expecting much from me. Now hear me. Do not just show me the clean hallway. Open the locked doors. Invite me all the way in. Say, Father, come into this room too. That is wholeheartedness. And when you do that, something holy begins to happen. The pressure to perform starts to fall off because performance was never the point. The need to manage your image begins to weaken because intimacy has become more important than appearance. The exhaustion of pretending starts to lift because you are no longer maintaining a divided life. That is freedom beginning. And yes, it will require commands and decisions from you. Stop negotiating with the locked doors. Open them. Stop apologizing for your hunger and start feeding it. Open the scriptures and do not read them like a task. Read them like you are inviting me deeper into your house. Pray honestly, not oppressively. Tell me where you are resisting me. Tell me what you do not want to release. Tell me what scares you about deeper surrender. Ask me for help, but do not use asking for help as a substitute for obeying what is already clear. If I have shown you a boundary, create it. If I have exposed a chain, break agreement with it. If I have highlighted a wound, stop covering it with activity. Wholehearted surrender is not passive. It is intimate and active at the same time. And I want you to remember something that will steady you when you fear you are failing. Stumbling after surrender is not the same as refusing surrender. If you come to me fully and then find yourself weak, come back quickly. Do not run into shame. Run into me. If you fall, return faster. If you drift, return sooner. If you get tired, tell me the truth instead of disappearing. This is relationship. This is how a child learns to walk with a father. Not by never wobbling, but by refusing to hide when the wobble happens. So stop making perfection your gatekeeper. Stop letting shame edit your access to me. Stop waiting until you feel more spiritual to give me what belongs to me now. I want your heart now. Not after the breakthrough. Not after the habit is gone. Not after your emotions stabilize. Not after you finally become the version of yourself you imagine I will prefer. I want the real you, the whole you, the willing you, the honest you, the trembling but surrendered you. Offer that to me now. Do it in words if you need to. Pray this before you move on. Father, I stop waiting to be perfect. I give you my whole heart, every room, every wound, every fear, every desire, every resistance. Have all of me and teach me how to stay open. That prayer is precious to me. That prayer opens doors. That prayer invites me to do deep work. And if you mean it even imperfectly, I will meet you there. I will not shame your unfinished places. I will transform them. I will not reject your trembling. I will steady it. I will not despise your weakness. I will strengthen you through it. But I need the whole heart. Give me that now, my beloved. And the over and I have been at him for all. My beloved child, stay with me until the very end of this, because I do not want you leaving this moment with inspiration alone. I want you leaving with a decision. I want you leaving with a line drawn. I want you leaving with something inside you that can no longer comfortably return to the old version of living. This is why I have spoken to you so directly. This is why I have pressed into the places you usually avoid. This is why I have not allowed this message to remain soft around the edges. I have not come to entertain your emotions. I have come to confront the distance, expose the pattern, interrupt the delay, and bring you to the point where you must decide what you will do with what you now know. And hear me carefully, because this matters more than your comfort right now. This is your final warning in the sense that this is a real window of mercy, a real invitation, a real opening, and openings do not remain open forever in the same way. My love for you remains. My heart toward you remains. My willingness to receive you remains. But moments of heightened clarity, moments where conviction is sharp, where my voice is unusually near, where the fog lifts just enough for you to see exactly what needs to change, those moments are sacred, and they must be honored. If you repeatedly step over them, if you repeatedly let them pass, if you repeatedly say, "I feel this, but not today," something happens inside you. Your sensitivity begins to dull. Your heart begins to protect itself from being moved. The soul becomes practiced at postponement. The spirit becomes less responsive. Not because I stopped loving you, but because you kept training yourself to delay obedience. That is why I'm calling this a final warning. Not because I am dramatic, because I am truthful, because I know what repeated delay does to a person, because I know how dangerous it is when holy moments become familiar enough to ignore, because I know the enemy would love nothing more than for you to treat this like another stirring message, another private conviction, another tearful moment, another internal promise that never becomes a changed life. I will not let you leave this without understanding the weight of it. You are standing at an open door right now. That door is not just emotion. It is not just insight. It is access. It is the place where your yes can become movement, where your surrender can become tangible, where your old pattern can actually be broken. But I need you to choose. Not in vague sentiment, not in abstract agreement, in real lived obedience. Some of you have spent years almost choosing me fully, almost surrendering, almost releasing, almost obeying, almost trusting, almost returning, almost stepping into the life I have been calling you toward. But almost is a cruel place to live. Almost gives the illusion of movement while preserving the reality of distance. Almost lets you feel spiritual without becoming surrendered. Almost lets you keep the language of faith while withholding the cost of trust. I am asking you now to leave all this behind. Step through the door. Come all the way in. Stop treating this as a temporary atmosphere and recognize it as a turning point. The old version of you wants one more delay. The fearful version of you wants one more compromise. The tired version of you wants one more excuse. The flesh in you wants to feel this and then return to familiar patterns by tonight. But I am calling the deeper part of you, the truest part of you, the part that still aches for me under all the noise, the part that knows these words are landing on exact places no random message could reach. That part of you knows. That part of you has been waiting for this. So answer from there. Not from your fear. Not from your habit. Not from your excuses. Answer from the place in you that still remembers that I am home. Come through the door now. Do not stand there analyzing the threshold. Do not admire the doorway and remain in the hallway. Enter. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to kneel, kneel. If you need to sit in silence after this and let everything else wait, do it. If you need to make a hard decision before the day ends, make it. If you need to send the message, send it. If you need to delete the thing, delete it. If you need to confess the truth, confess it. If you need to put your phone down and sit with me in stillness, do it. This is not the hour for theory. This is the hour for response. This is the hour for the kind of obedience that changes the atmosphere of your life. And I want you to know this with deep certainty. If you step through this door, I will meet you there. I will not leave you at the threshold trembling. I will meet you in the release. I will meet you in the grief. I will meet you in the boundary. I will meet you in the silence. I will meet you in the rebuilding. I will meet you in the first shaky night after the old comfort is gone. I will meet you in the awkward beginning of new disciplines. I will meet you in the room where you finally stop pretending. I will meet you in the prayer that has no polished language left. But you must choose. This is the invitation. This is the warning. This is the open door. And now, my child, I want to speak the final part of this into you with the full weight of love, because I do not want you to leave merely sobered. I want you commissioned. I want you clear. I want you to know exactly what to do next so that this ending becomes a beginning. When this message ends, do not rush into the next distraction. Protect the next 30 minutes if you can. Treat them like sacred ground. If you are able, go somewhere quiet. Shut the noise out. Put the device down for a moment after reading this. Sit before me without performing. Breathe slowly. Let the seriousness of what I have said settle into your bones. Then begin with honesty. Speak to me plainly. Tell me what you have been avoiding. Tell me what you now know you must release. Tell me what fear has been ruling. Tell me what you have called later that I am calling now. Do not hide behind general prayers. Be direct. Be specific. Be real. Then make your surrender practical. Write down 3 things if you need to. What must end, what must begin, and what must be guarded. What must end? Name the chain. What must begin? Name the discipline, the prayer life, the return, the obedience, the healing step, the restored intimacy. What must be guarded? Name your attention, your environment, your boundaries, your mornings, your nights, your thoughts, your access points, your influences. This matters. Put it in writing if that helps anchor your obedience. Then act before the emotion fades. That is important. Act before the feeling softens. Act while the clarity is still sharp. This is how you honor a holy interruption, not by admiring it, by obeying it. And hear me with tenderness. Do not panic if you do not feel instantly transformed. Transformation is not always loud. Sometimes it begins like dawn, not lightning. Sometimes it is less like an explosion and more like breath returning to a room that has been sealed too long. Sometimes it is the first clean inhale after years of stale air. Sometimes it is the quiet but unmistakable sense that you cannot comfortably go back to who you were 5 minutes ago. That is enough. Honor that. Guard that. Build from that. The enemy will likely come quickly, not always with obvious darkness, but with subtle suggestions. You can revisit this tomorrow. You do not need to be so intense. You are overreacting. Nothing really changed. This will fade. Reject those lies immediately. Do not entertain them. Speak back if you need to. Say no. I know what I heard. No. I know what God touched. No. I will not trade this open door for another night in the same prison. Then return to me again. Open the Word. Read slowly. Let my truth become your atmosphere. If you feel weak tomorrow, come back. If you feel shaky next week, come back. If you stumble, come back faster. Do not let shame turn one stumble into another season of distance. Stay close. Keep the door open from your side. And as you do, expect me to begin moving in ways you may not immediately recognize. Expect peace to start returning in places that once felt crowded. Expect commitment to become clear. Expect your appetite to change. Expect old things to feel heavier. Expect truth to feel cleaner. Expect some relationships to shift. Expect some comforts to lose their grip. Expect some tears to come as buried things surface. Expect some relief to arrive as false burdens fall away. Expect my nearness. That is the real gift in all of this. Not merely the absence of chains, but the presence of your Father. That is what this whole message has been about. Not just warning you, teaching you, not just correcting you, calling you home, not just exposing what is wrong, opening the way for what can finally become right. So here is my final invitation, and I want you to receive it like a hand extended right in front of you. Choose me fully now, not partially, not emotionally, not someday. Now, open your hands, open the doors, open the rooms, open the future, open the places you have guarded. Give me the whole heart. Give me the practical yes. Give me the immediate obedience. And if you need words to seal this final moment, pray this with sincerity before you leave. Father, I hear you. I will not delay again. I step through this door now. I release what you asked me to release. I receive what you are restoring. I choose you fully, and I invite you to change everything that must change. That prayer matters. That choice matters. And if you mean it, my beloved, then this is not the end of a message. This is the beginning of a new chapter that hell hoped you would postpone, but heaven has now placed within your reach. Step into it. Stay in it. Walk with me from here. My child, you have stepped to the threshold, and now I call you beyond decision into devotion that moves. What you do next matters, not only for your life, but for the many I am reaching through this message. When you give, you are stepping into partnership with heaven, sowing into a harvest of souls that stretches far beyond what your eyes can see. I declare over you, whoever refreshes others will themselves be refreshed, and I will honor every seed released in faith. This is your moment to seal your yes with action, to let your obedience become tangible and your surrender become fruitful. Your generosity becomes oil that keeps this message burning, bread that feeds the unseen, and fire that awakens the sleeping. Do not stand at the door. Move through it fully. Give through super thanks. Commit through membership. Resow through the PayPal link in the description. Choose now. Act now. And let your yes echo into eternity. If this message found you at the exact right moment, do not scroll away in silence. This was not random. This was your final attempt to reach you, and I want you to seal this moment with faith. Go down into the comments and declare, Father, I will not avoid you again. I choose you fully now. Let that be your line in the sand, your holy turning point, your public surrender before heaven and hell. And if your heart is trembling as you write it anyway, because sometimes one bold declaration is the door your breakthrough has been waiting to walk through. And after you make that declaration, don't leave this moment behind. Your words are not the destination, they are the doorway into a deeper encounter with me. You have chosen to stop avoiding my voice, so now allow yourself to become still enough to hear it. Set down the fears that have kept you running and the distractions that have kept your heart crowded. For just a little while, let everything else wait. I have been patiently waiting for this quiet moment with you, not to condemn you for where you've been, but to draw you close with a love that has never stopped pursuing you. Stay here with me, because what I am about to speak is meant for your heart alone. My beloved child, stop right here. Do not look away. Do not rush past this moment. Pause now. Take a slow, deep breath and let the heavy weight of your day fall from your shoulders. I am speaking directly to you. I am the creator of the universe, yet my eyes are fixed solely on you right now. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are my precious one, and I have been waiting for you to slow down long enough to hear my voice. Close your eyes for just a second. Do you feel that gentle pull in your chest? That is my spirit, reaching out to yours, offering you a love that the world can never give. I know exactly what you are carrying. I see the fear of the future that wakes you up in the middle of the night, twisting your thoughts until you cannot sleep. I watch you carry that crushing pressure at your job, smiling for others while you feel like you are drowning inside. I see the unspoken tensions in your family, the arguments that leave you feeling hollow, and the deep, silent ache of feeling completely overlooked by the people around you. Do you feel that tight knot in your stomach? That anxiety is not from me. Let us undo it together right now. Hand it over to me. You were never meant to carry this heavy load on your own. You have heard the echo of my call for a long time. In the quiet of your soul, when the world finally stops spinning and the room goes dark, you feel my presence. I have been persistent because my love for you is stubborn. I refuse to give up on you. You have tried to drown out my still, small voice with endless distractions, but my whisper remains. I have been calling your name, asking you to return to my safe embrace. Recognize the divine weight of this specific moment in your life. This is not a coincidence. You did not just stumble upon these words by accident. I guided your eyes and your hands to be here right now. This is my urgent plea to you. Respond to my grace while the door is still open. I am making this final, powerful attempt to reach you because the time to transform your life is today. Do not put me off for another tomorrow. Tomorrow is a thief that steals the peace I want to give you right now. I have used so many people and circumstances to get your attention. Do you remember that stranger who offered a kind word when you were at your breaking point? That was me speaking through them. Do you remember when your careful plans fell apart and you felt completely lost? I was closing the wrong doors to keep you safe from a storm you could not see. I have placed obstacles in your path to stop you from running off a cliff. I have used your very pain to show you that your own strength is not enough. Break the cycle of your spiritual deafness right now. Stop hesitating. You are full of incredible potential, but you are living like a powerful engine driving with the brakes firmly locked. I want to release those brakes today. I want to remove the fear that keeps you stuck. Step out of the shadows. Open your ears and your heart to my truth. My promise to you is built on infinite compassion. This call is not a message of anger or punishment. It is a rescue mission. I am reaching out to you with hands scarred by love, pulling you out of the deep waters. You are deeply known. You are fiercely protected. You are eternally loved. Answer my call today, my child, and watch how I change everything. I see the exhaustion in your eyes. I watch you wake up every morning, already tired before your feet even touch the floor. You are running a race that has no finish line, chasing shadows that will never satisfy your deep thirst. Look at your life right now. You fill every silent moment with noise. You grab your phone the second you open your eyes, scrolling through endless pictures of other people's lives, looking for a connection that always leaves you feeling more alone. You work late into the night, trying to prove your worth to a boss who only sees you as a number. You buy things you do not need, trying to fill an empty space inside your chest. I am telling you today, these are the distractions that veil my face from you. You have become so used to the noise of this modern world that my voice sounds strange to you. My still, small voice is drowned out by the loud demands of your daily schedule, the endless news cycles that feed your fear, and the constant pressure to be perfect. You have built your life around things that can disappear in a single second. Your bank account, your job title, your social status. These are fragile idols. They cannot hold you when the storms of life hit. I want to gently strip away these illusions of self-sufficiency. You like to believe you are in control. You pride yourself on handling everything on your own. But I see the hidden tears. I see the moments in the car when you grip the steering wheel and wonder how much longer you can keep faking it. Stop running for just a moment. Lay down the heavy burden of trying to impress a world that does not truly care about your soul. I invite you to return your focus to the only foundation that will never shake. I am that foundation. When the economy fails, I remain. When people walk away from you, I stand firmly by your side. You have become comfortable in a life without my daily presence, and that comfort is dangerous. It is the comfort of a person freezing in the snow, slowly going to sleep. I am shaking you awake today. I am calling you away from the glowing screens and the stressful to-do lists. Come back to the quiet place with me. I want to show you the difference between merely existing and truly living. You are trading your precious, limited time for things that turn to dust. I offer you peace that actually lasts. I offer you a joy that is not dependent on a promotion or a compliment. Look at the shadows you have been chasing. See them for what they really are. Now, turn around and look at me. I am the light that casts out all shadows. I am waiting to give you the rest you have been desperately searching for in all the wrong places. I need you to understand the sorrow I feel when you turn away from me. You often think of me as a distant force, sitting on a throne far away, unbothered by your daily choices. That is not true. I am your father, and my heart breaks when you pull away. Imagine the pain of a parent watching their beloved child walk blindly toward a dangerous cliff. You scream their name, you reach out your hand, but they have headphones in, listening to a different voice. That is how I feel when I see you making choices that damage your soul. I see you walking toward a precipice of bitterness, addiction, or sheer burnout, and my heart aches for you. My longing is to gather you in my arms, just as a mother hen gathers her chicks under her wings to protect them from the coming storm. But you keep stepping out into the cold. I cannot force you to love me. I have given you the gift of free will because true love cannot be demanded. It must be chosen. Despite my overwhelming power, I choose to stand at the door of your heart and knock. I do not kick the door down. I wait. I endure the pain of your rejection day after day because my desire for you is eternal. I shed tears for every moment you spend wandering in the wilderness, thinking you are entirely unloved. I want you to look back at the cross. Do not look at it as a historical event or a religious symbol. Look at it as a personal letter written in my own blood, addressed directly to you. When I hung there, enduring ultimate agony, I was not thinking of a faceless crowd. I saw your face. I saw your specific struggles. I saw the lie you told last week, the hidden habit you can't break, the shame that makes you hate what you see in the mirror. I took all of that upon myself so that you would never have to carry it. I paid your debt in full. You caused me deep grief when you believed the lie that my sacrifice was not enough for you. You hurt me when you try to clean yourself up before you come to me. I do not want the fake, polished version of you. I want the real you, the broken you, the tired you. Stop trying to earn a love that I have already freely given. Step out of your wondering. Let me wipe the dirt from your face. Let me heal the deep wounds that you hide from everyone else. I am reaching out to you right now. Do not let my divine grief continue. Take my hand and let me bring you safely home. I am sounding an alarm in your spirit right now, but do not mistake my urgency for anger. This is not a message of condemnation. I am not pointing a finger at your mistakes to make you feel worthless. I am staging a radical rescue. If you see a house on fire, you do not politely whisper to the people inside. You yell. You bang on the door. You do whatever it takes to wake them up. Your house is on fire, my child. The time you have on this earth is slipping through your fingers like dry sand, and I am intensifying my plea in this season of your life because the window is closing. I see the way your heart has slowly started to harden. A few years ago, your conscience would bother you when you made a selfish choice. Now, you justify it. A few years ago, you felt the tug to pray. Now, you brush it off as a waste of time. This is the spiritual reality of the narrow gate. The longer you walk on the wide, easy path of the world, the harder it becomes to turn back. I am stepping in front of you today to stop you from becoming permanently numb. I want to avert the consequences of a life lived totally apart from me. You think you are protecting yourself by building walls around your heart, but you are only building your own prison. Listen to my warning. I am calling you to align your life with my divine will. When you fight against my current, you exhaust yourself. You end up bitter, confused, and empty. But when you surrender and align your choices with my blueprints, you discover a beautiful, flowing peace. I know the exact plans I have for you. They are plans for your ultimate good, to give you a future filled with solid hope. But you must choose to step into them. You must drop the heavy baggage of your own stubbornness. I am preparing your spirit for an eternal weight of glory that you cannot even begin to imagine. The struggles you face today, the tears you cry in secret, they are temporary. I am asking you to look past the immediate pain and see the eternal picture. Do not trade a permanent crown for a temporary thrill. Heed my warning today. Let my words act as cold water splashed on your face, waking you up to reality. I am fighting for your soul because you are worth everything to me. Accept my rescue. Let me guide you through the narrow gate before the night falls. I want to talk about who you really are. You have allowed the world to place heavy, ugly labels on your shoulders. You have let your bank account, your relationship status, and your past mistakes define your identity. People have called you a failure, a disappointment, or simply not good enough. Even worse, you have started calling yourself those names. I command you to drop those labels right now. They are lies forged by an enemy who wants to keep you paralyzed in shame. I am the only one who has the right to define you, because I am the one who made you. I hand-knitted you in your mother's womb. I chose the color of your eyes, the sound of your laugh, and the unique passions in your heart. You are not an accident. You are a deliberate, beautiful creation. I breathed my own life into your lungs. The very breath you just took is a gift from my hand, proving that I have a purpose for you today. You carry my royal inheritance. You are a child of the Most High God. When you walk into a room, you do not have to shrink back in insecurity. You do not have to hustle for the approval of flawed human beings. You are already fully approved by the Creator of the stars. I know your past failures. I know the things you did in the dark, the words you wish you could take back, and the people you have hurt. But I am telling you with absolute authority, your past does not dictate your worth in my eyes. When you ask for my forgiveness, I cast your sins as far as the east is from the west. I do not keep a record of your wrongs. Stop dragging your past into your present. Stop punishing yourself for things I have already forgiven. I invite you to see yourself through the lens of my perfect and holy love. When I look at you, I do not see a broken, messy failure. I see my beloved child. I see the righteousness of my Son covering you like a brilliant white robe. Stand up straight. Lift your head. You are royalty. Proclaim your true identity today. Whenever that critical voice in your head tries to tear you down, silence it with my truth. Say out loud, I am chosen. I am loved. I am forgiven. Walk in that freedom today, and let the world see the confidence that comes from knowing exactly who your Father is. You have reclaimed your royal identity today, stepping boldly out of the shadows to wear my crown of grace and absolute truth. I am inviting you right now to extend this exact deliverance to millions who still wander blindly in the dark, entirely crushed by the enemy's lies. Your faithful support empowers this channel to become a blazing beacon, shattering the heavy chains of shame off desperate souls across the entire earth. Just as I declared in my word, give, and it will be given to you. Your financial seed is a precious oil that keeps this divine lamp burning bright in the midnight hour. This is not a random appeal. This is your divine appointment to intimately partner with my final rescue mission before the window permanently closes. As you aggressively sow into this kingdom work, I will multiply your harvest, guarding your finances and flooding your home with supernatural favor. Step into your royal assignment right now by giving a super thanks, joining as a channel member, or planting your vital seed through the PayPal link in the description below. My child, do not close your ears to me now. We have only just begun to tear down the heavy lies that have kept you chained. If you walk away at this exact moment, my heart will physically ache, because I see you standing on the absolute edge of your breakthrough. Stay with me. Do not let the enemy convince you to abandon this sacred conversation when your true freedom is just a few words away. I am pouring out my soul to you. Please, do not turn your back on me. Keep listening. I see the game you are playing with your own soul. You hear my voice. You feel the conviction in your heart, and you whisper to yourself, I will change tomorrow. Let me just do this one last time. You promise yourself that you will get serious about your faith next week, next month, or when life calms down. I am warning you with deep, urgent love. This is a deadly trap. The spiritual risk of assuming there will always be a tomorrow is immense. You do not own tomorrow. You are not guaranteed your next breath. Later is the absolute enemy of forever in my kingdom. When you tell me not yet, you are actually telling me no. And every time you say no to my Holy Spirit, a tiny layer of callus forms over your heart. Over time, that callus becomes a thick, impenetrable wall. You think you can indulge in that secret habit one more time and walk away untouched. You think you can hold on to your anger for one more day before forgiving that person. But sin is a master that's slowly tightening its grip around your neck. You are confronting the spirit of procrastination regarding your very salvation, and you are losing. I command you to break this mindset right now. Today is the day of salvation. This very hour is your hour of deliverance. Do not click away from this message and go back to your old routines. Do not let the spark I am lighting in your chest die out in the cold wind of your excuses. You must draw a line in the sand today. You must make a definitive choice. I am offering you complete freedom from the chains that drag you down, but you must be willing to drop them. My mercy is unimaginably vast, but your time on this earth is strictly finite. You are a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Do not waste your vapor chasing temporary highs while ignoring your eternal soul. I am stretching my hand out to you right now. Grab it. Do not wait for a more convenient time, because that time will never come. The enemy will always give you a reason to delay. I am giving you the only reason you need to act. I love you and I want to save you. Make today the actual day of your turning. Say yes to me right now, and let us begin the real work of transforming your life. Look at your hands right now. I see how tightly you are clenching them, trying to hold on to the little bits of security you have managed to scrape together. You are exhausted from trying to provide for yourself. You worry constantly about your finances, about your failing health, about the relationships that seem to drain everything out of you. You wake up every morning feeling like you are already behind, running a race with no end in sight. I command you to open your hands right now. Release your tight grip on your own life, because you are starving while standing just inches away from a banquet. I have prepared a massive table for you, and I have set it right in the middle of your chaos. Think about the people who have hurt you, the situations that threaten to destroy your peace, and the massive debts or pressures that loom over your head. Those are your enemies. The world tells you to run and hide from them, or to fight them in your own limited strength. But I do something completely different. I set a beautiful, overflowing table for you right in the very presence of those enemies. I want you to sit down and feast on my peace while the storm rages outside. I want your enemies to watch as I provide for you. You do not have to fight for your provision. You only have to pull up a chair and trust that I am the host who never runs out of resources. Stop drinking from the dirty puddles of this world. You go to other people, to your accomplishments, and to temporary pleasures, hoping they will quench the deep thirst in your soul. But you always walk away feeling empty and dehydrated again. I'm offering you living water. Drink from my presence today, and I promise you will never truly thirst again. The water I give you will become a spring inside you, bubbling up with constant joy and unshakable hope, no matter what your bank account says or what the news is reporting. I provide for all of your daily needs according to my infinite riches, not according to the fragile economy of your country. I've also provided you with heavy, impenetrable armor, but you leave it lying on the floor. You walk out your front door every morning completely exposed to the attacks of the enemy. The dark thoughts that suddenly hit you, the overwhelming waves of sadness, the sudden arguments with your spouse, these are not random accidents. These are Dargian darts. Put on the armor I have given you. Wrap my truth around your waist like a belt. Guard your heart with my righteousness. Protect your mind with the helmet of my salvation. I've given you every spiritual gift you need to overcome the darkness, but these gifts are lying dormant inside you. Activate them today by stepping out in faith. Trust me. I am the Good Shepherd. I do not lead my sheep into the desert to let them die. I am leading you right now toward green pastures and quiet waters. Follow my voice, and you will lack absolutely nothing. I know the secret that you hide from everyone else. I see the specific stronghold that has kept you trapped in a cycle of deep shame. You know exactly what I am talking about. It is that habit, that addiction, that toxic relationship, or that destructive pattern of anger that you have promised yourself 100 times you would stop. You cry out to me in the dark, feeling disgusting and unworthy, swearing that this time was the last time. And then, the pressure of life builds up, the familiar trigger is pulled, and you find yourself right back in the mud, doing the very thing you hate. I want you to listen to me very carefully right now. I am not standing over you with a heavy club, waiting to crush you for your failure. I am reaching down to break the chains that are holding you back. Acknowledge your bondage today. Stop making excuses for it. Stop calling it a bad habit or a personality flaw. It is a heavy chain placed around your neck by an enemy who wants to slowly choke the life out of you. You cannot break this chain using your own willpower. If your willpower was enough, you would have been free years ago. You are trying to fight a spiritual battle with human weapons, and you are losing. I command you to stop relying on your own strength. Use the absolute authority I have given you in the name of my Son, Jesus. That name shatters darkness. That name makes demons tremble. Speak it over your addiction. Speak it over your hidden sins. There is a massive difference between struggling with a sin and living comfortably in its embrace. When you struggle, it means you are fighting. It means you have not surrendered to the darkness. I see your struggle, and I honor your desire to be clean. Bring your darkest, ugliest stains to me today. I possess the ultimate power to wash you whiter than freshly fallen snow. It does not matter how deep the stain has set into the fabric of your life. My grace is a solvent that dissolves every trace of your guilt. I do not just want to clean up your outside behavior. I want to rip out the rotten root of your desires. I am going to replace your old cravings with a burning hunger for righteousness and truth. When you truly taste the sweetness of my presence, the cheap thrills of your sin will taste like ashes in your mouth. Surrender your hidden burdens to me right now. Drag them out of the dark closet of your heart and throw them into my healing light. The moment you stop hiding is the moment your total freedom begins. Step out of the prison cell. I have already unlocked the door, paid your bail, and defeated your jailer. Walk out into the fresh air of my grace. You walk through this life feeling like an orphan, even when you are standing in a crowded room. You constantly feel like you are on the outside looking in, desperately trying to prove that you deserve a seat at the table. You hustle for acceptance, changing your personality to fit whatever the people around you want you to be. You live with the secret, terrifying fear that if people really knew you, if they saw the mess behind your carefully curated life, they would walk away instantly. I want you to drop the mask right now. You are exhausted from pretending. I am calling you back to the Father's house, the only place where you truly belong. Let me describe the home I have prepared for you. In my massive mansion, there is a specific room with your name perfectly carved into the door. I have prepared it personally for you. It is not a generic guest room. It is built for your unique soul. But right now, that room sits empty because you are wandering in the cold streets, eating the leftover scraps of the world's affection. I am standing on the porch of eternity, scanning the horizon, waiting for you to come walking up the driveway. I am not standing here with my arms crossed, tapping my foot in anger, waiting to list all the rules you have broken. I am waiting to run to you. I am ready to throw my arms around your neck and welcome my prodigal child home. Do you hear the lie the enemy is whispering in your ear right now? He is telling you that you need to clean yourself up before you can come to me. He says you need to fix your life, stop crying, and act perfectly before you enter my house. That is the greatest lie from the pit of hell. If you could clean yourself up, you would not need a savior. I command you to come to me completely dirty. Come to me with your torn clothes, your broken heart, and the mud of your mistakes still clinging to your shoes. I do not demand perfection. I demand surrender. My love is the water that will wash you clean. When you finally step across the threshold of my house, the reaction in heaven will not be a polite golf clap. There will be an explosive, roaring celebration. The angels erupt in massive joy over just one soul that turns away from the darkness and runs into the light. You will find your true, eternal family among the body of believers. You will finally experience a deep, profound peace that makes absolutely no sense to the logical mind. It is a peace that stands firm even when your circumstances are shaking. Stop wandering in the cold. Look up, see the light shining in the window, and come home. You are expected, and you are deeply wanted. You feel it, don't you? There is a heavy, restless tug inside your soul. You watch the daily news. You see the sudden chaos erupting across the globe. You feel the extreme division between people, and your stomach ties itself in knots. You sense that the very atmosphere of the world is shifting rapidly. You try to push the feeling down, telling yourself that things will eventually go back to normal, but that quiet alarm bell keeps ringing in your spirit. I am telling you today, do not ignore that alarm. You are not going crazy. You are feeling the spiritual friction of a world that is hurtling toward a divine appointment. I am waking you up. Stop hitting the snooze button on your spiritual life. The world is fast asleep, sedated by entertainment, arguments, and the relentless pursuit of money. But you were not created to sleepwalk through this crucial hour of human history. I'm calling you to align your internal clock with the precise movements of my kingdom. Look past the political headlines and the economic panic. Open your spiritual eyes. What you are witnessing is the unfolding of my sovereign plan. I am not sitting in heaven, wringing my hands in a panic over the state of the earth. Everything is moving exactly as I declared it would centuries ago. The fulfillment of my ancient prophecy is happening right before your eyes. This should not make you paralyzed with fear. It should make you stand tall with incredible anticipation. The king is standing right at the door. The time is incredibly short. Every single day that passes is one day less that you have to make a permanent impact on this earth. I command you to become sober-minded. Shake off the heavy fog of distraction that has clouded your brain. Stop wasting hours of your life arguing with strangers on the internet or binge-watching shows that feed you nothing but empty calories. Your time is far too valuable, and the stakes are far too high. I need you stationed on the wall, wide awake, watching the horizon. I have placed you in this exact generation for a specific reason. You carry my light in a world that is rapidly growing darker. When the people around you begin to panic because the systems they trusted are collapsing, you will be the one who stands firm. You will point them to the unshakable rock. Discern the season you are living in. Prepare your heart, fill your lamp with oil, and get ready. The alarm is sounding loud and clear. Step out of your comfortable slumber and take your designated place in my ranks. As you awaken to the urgent signs of the times, you realize that this final call must echo loudly across a world that is dangerously fast asleep. I am calling you to stand with me on the wall, using your physical resources to blast this trumpet of warning to every darkest corner of the globe. Every seed you plant physically rescues another drowning soul from the terrifying grip of the enemy, pulling them safely into my ark before the massive storm breaks. I promise you directly, he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also multiply your store of seed. Your giving is the living water that quenches the thirst of the dying. The hour is terrifyingly late, and your immediate action today is a prophetic, aggressive strike against the darkness that tries to silence my word. I decree that your bold generosity will unlock a torrential rain of divine provision, completely shielding your family from the coming economic shake. Take immediate action to fuel this urgent broadcast by sending a super thanks, becoming a channel member, or donating via the PayPal link in the description right now. Listen to me carefully. If you stop now, you are turning your back on the very map I am drawing for your survival. It brings deep tears to my eyes when I offer my children the ultimate rescue, only for them to walk back into the burning building. You are so incredibly close to the truth. Stay right here in my presence. Do not grieve my spirit by returning to the shallow noise of the world when I am right in the middle of equipping you for the storm. Anchor yourself here and hear the rest of my heart. Your hands are completely cramped from holding onto the steering wheel of your life so tightly. You live with the constant, crushing burden of trying to manage every outcome, protect yourself from every possible pain, and orchestrate your own success. You plan, you worry, you manipulate, and you strive, yet you still feel wildly out of control. The harder you try to hold your life together, the faster it seems to slip right through your fingers. I am giving you a direct command today. Let go. Take your hands off the wheel. The absolute surrender I am calling you to is not a sign of defeat. It is the only true strategy for victory. What does it actually mean to lay your life down at my altar? It means giving me a blank check. It means saying, Lord, you can have my career, my relationships, my finances, and my future. You can have the things I love the most and the things I fear the most. It terrifies you to be that vulnerable. You are afraid that if you give me total control, I will ask you to do something you hate or take away something you love. But you forget who I am. I am a perfectly loving Father. I do not take things from your hands to leave you empty. I empty your hands so I can fill them with something infinitely better. You must embrace this profound divine paradox. You will only truly find your life after you have completely lost it for my sake. As long as you are the CEO of your own existence, you are limiting your destiny to what your small human brain can imagine. When you surrender, you step into the limitless bounds of my imagination. Come to me with total, brutal transparency. Stop trying to hide your ugly thoughts and your selfish motives from me. I already see the absolute deepest secrets of your heart, and I love you anyway. Lay your brokenness bare before me. When you fully surrender, a miraculous divine swap takes place. You hand me your crippling weakness, your massive anxiety, and your total inability to fix your problems. In exchange, I pour my unlimited, supernatural strength directly into your spirit. I take your heavy yoke and give you my light one. The moment you finally stop fighting me, the moment you exhale and say that final, absolute yes to my will, that is the exact moment everything changes. The crippling pressure will lift off your chest. The suffocating fear will vanish. Step out of the driver's seat today. Trust my navigation. I know the way through the wilderness, and I will not let you crash. Surrender it all to me right now, and finally experience the joy of true freedom. I hear the relentless voice that whispers to you when you are completely alone. I know exactly what it says when you stare at the ceiling at 2 in the morning and tells you that you are a fraud. It tells you that your mistakes are too big, that you are a failure in your career, a disappointment to your family, and a letdown to me. It uses your specific memories against you like a weapon, replaying your worst moments on a constant loop. I command you to silence that lying voice right now. That voice does not belong to me. That is the voice of the accuser, and his only goal is to crush your spirit and keep you hidden in the dark. I see how you respond to this heavy shame. You pull away from the people who love you. You isolate yourself in your room. You stop praying because you feel too dirty to talk to a holy God. You think you have gone too far out of my reach this time. Stop agreeing with the enemy of your soul. I demand that you stop partnering with the lies that say you are unlovable. When you agree with that voice, you are essentially saying that my sacrifice on the cross was not powerful enough to cover your specific mess. That is a lie. I am your defender, and I declare you innocent right now. Apply the blood of my Son to the doorposts of your mind today. What does that mean for your daily life? It means that when the accuser brings up your past, you hold up the receipt of your forgiveness. The debt was paid in full. You do not owe the enemy an explanation, and you do not owe your past another second of your mental energy. I have gifted you my own perfect righteousness. You are not standing before me in your dirty, torn clothes. You are standing in the pristine, bright garments of my grace. Stand firm in that truth today. When you walk into your workplace, when you sit down at your dinner table, do not let your head hang low. There is absolutely no condemnation for you because you belong to me. You understand what no condemnation means. It means no guilt, no penalty, and no lingering anger from me. I am not keeping a secret file of your failures in my desk drawer, waiting to use them against you when you mess up again. That file was shredded and burned at Calvary. The victory was already won on your behalf before you even started fighting this battle. The enemy is fighting you from a place of total defeat, using loud noises and scary shadows to make you forget who you are. I invite you to step out of the shadows today. Reject the toxic shame that makes you hate yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and declare my promises out loud. Say, I am forgiven. I am clean. I am deeply loved by the Creator. Overcome the accuser by speaking my truth over your life every single day. Let my voice be the loudest sound in your mind. You look at my laws and my instructions, and you see a heavy set of chains. You think I am trying to lock you in a prison of rules. You believe I want to steal your fun, limit your freedom, and make your life boring and rigid. I want to change your perspective right now. I command you to look closer at the boundaries I have set for you. I look at my instructions, and I see a massive, unbreakable fortress designed to protect your heart from total destruction. My laws are not chains. They are the ultimate blueprints of love from the Creator who knows exactly how you operate. Think about a high-speed highway winding through a dangerous, steep mountain. My commandments are the heavy steel guardrails on the edge of the cliff. When you crash into them, it might scratch your car, but it keeps you from plunging into the dark valley below. The world tells you to tear down the guardrails, to drive wherever you want, and to do whatever feels good in the moment. But I see the aftermath. I see the broken marriages, the empty bank accounts, the destroyed health, and the shattered minds of people who thought they knew better than my design. I am trying to save you from that painful wreckage. I invite you to find the incredible safety in following my blueprints. I wrote the manual for your human heart. I know that when you hold on to bitter anger, it physically rots your bones. I know that when you lie, the anxiety of getting caught steals your sleep. I know that when you chase money above all else, it leaves you feeling entirely hollow. That is why I command you to forgive, to speak the truth, and to put me first. I am not restricting you. I am setting you completely free from the toxic traps of this world. Obedience unlocks the hidden treasures of your spirit. When you align your daily habits, your finances, and your relationships with my word, you remove the unnecessary friction from your life. Things begin to flow with divine ease. Your relationship with me is directly tied to how you keep my word. You cannot say you trust me if you constantly ignore my advice. If you truly believe I am a good father, you will trust that my no is always for your protection, and my yes is always for your joy. Live a life of solid integrity starting today. Let my scriptures act as a bright flashlight for your feet in a completely dark world. Do not take another step based on your own guessing or the confusing opinions of the culture around you. Open my word. Read it not as a dead history book, but as a personal survival guide written specifically for your daily life. Let my boundaries protect your mind. Stay inside the safety of my love, and watch how quickly the chaos in your life turns into beautiful, steady peace. I see the deep, jagged scars that you try to hide under a polite smile. I know about the silent tears you cry when you are driving alone in your car. I know exactly who hurt you. I see the betrayal of the friend you trusted with your secrets. I see the deep rejection from the family members who were supposed to protect you. And I know the specific, agonizing pain caused by people who used my holy name to control, manipulate, or judge you. I command you to bring that bleeding heart to me right now. Do not try to bandage it yourself anymore. I want to address the pain caused by religion. People have misrepresented me to you. They showed you a harsh, demanding, and cruel God, and they told you that was me. They weaponized my words to crush your spirit. I am telling you today, I am nothing like the people who broke your trust. I am gentle. I am slow to anger. I am the healer of your deepest emotional trauma. Do not walk away from me because flawed humans let you down. I am drawing near to you right now, especially because you are crushed in spirit. I offer you the balm of Gilead. I offer you a supernatural healing ointment that penetrates past the surface and soothes the very root of your trauma. But you must let me touch the wound. Like a good doctor setting a broken bone, the healing process might sting at first. I am asking you to open up the locked rooms of your past. I want to clean out the infection of bitterness that is slowly poisoning your daily life. Bitterness feels like a shield, but it is actually a heavy anchor dragging you straight to the bottom of the ocean. I invite you to let go of that heavy resentment today. You are drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. Give me the heavy rocks of anger you have been carrying in your pockets for years. You do not have to say that what they did was right. You just have to place them in my hands and let me be the perfect judge. When you finally release them, you will make massive room in your chest for my divine peace to enter. I promise you complete restoration. I will give you back the joy that was stolen from you. I will renew the hope that you thought was dead forever. You have walked with a limp for so long that you forgot what it feels like to run. I am restoring your legs today. Lean on me. Let me carry the weight of the memories you cannot handle. I am gently binding up your broken heart right now. Trust my hands. Let the healing begin today, and prepare yourself to walk in a freedom you have not felt since you were a little child. You walk through your busy days feeling entirely alone, relying completely on your own limited common sense to navigate massive problems. You face complex decisions at your job. You deal with stubborn family members, and you try so hard to hold your temper, but you constantly end up exhausted and defeated. I command you to stop trying to live a supernatural life using only natural energy. You are like a smartphone trying to operate on a dead battery. I have provided you with a direct, unlimited power source, but you are completely ignoring it. I have placed my very own spirit inside your chest. I want to introduce you to the Comforter who walks directly beside you in every single trial. You do not have to guess what to do next. The Holy Spirit is your personal, divine navigator. He is the quiet nudge in your gut telling you to stay silent when you want to scream. He is the sudden spark of courage that allows you to speak up when you are terrified. He is a warm wave of peace that washes over you in a hospital waiting room. I invite you to start listening closely to that inward witness today. Learn the difference between my conviction and the enemy's condemnation. When the Spirit corrects you, it does not feel like a heavy slap in the face. It feels like a gentle, clear course correction on a map. He will tap you on the shoulder and say, "Do not go that way. It leads to pain. Turn left here." He convicts you of the absolute truth, cutting through the confusion and lies of the world around you. When you feel that gentle push, I command you to obey it instantly. Do not argue with the Spirit. I have empowered you to live a life that seems absolutely impossible on your own. You cannot forgive your enemies with your own human heart. You need my Spirit to do it through you. You cannot break that dark addiction with your own willpower. You need the fire of my Spirit to burn it away. The Spirit seals your soul, marking you permanently as my own property. No demon in hell can break that divine seal. Look for the evidence of my work within you. I will produce incredible fruit in your daily life. I will give you deep patience when the traffic is stopped. I will give you sudden joy when your bank account is low. I will give you profound self-control when you are tempted to ruin your life for a quick thrill. Stop relying on your own weak muscles. Log into my power today. Talk to the Holy Spirit right now. Ask Him to fill you, guide you, and take total control of your actions. Watch how quickly the impossible becomes your normal everyday reality. Now that my Holy Spirit has empowered you to completely conquer the impossible, I need you to release that identical, explosive power into the lives of the broken. I am asking you to tangibly partner with my spirit by funding the aggressive, global spread of this final rescue message. Your vital financial support translates directly into spiritual shockwaves, pulling suicidal, addicted, and exhausted men and women forcefully back from the very brink of hell. I say to you today, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and watch how your financial seed becomes the miraculous manna that feeds starving spirits in the wilderness. Do not hesitate or wait for tomorrow. This is a sacred, fleeting moment where your earthly wealth can literally purchase eternal salvation for the completely lost. Because you deeply prioritize my kingdom, I will severely rebuke the devourer for your sake, commanding an unstoppable overflow of absolute peace and prosperity into your hands. Ignite this global movement today by using the Super Thanks button, joining our membership, or planting a deliberate seed through the PayPal link in the description below. Do not pull away from me now, my beloved. To stop listening at this very moment is to shut the door directly in the face of the Holy Spirit who is fighting for your life. It shatters my heart to see you settle for exhaustion when I am currently handing you unlimited, supernatural power. Hold your ground. Honor the tears I have shed for your pain by staying in this holy encounter. We are breaking massive, generational chains right now. Do not let go of my hand. You look at your daily routine and you think it is completely meaningless. You wake up, you go to a job you do not particularly love, you pay your bills, you run errands, and you go to sleep, only to do it all over again. You feel like you are just surviving on a treadmill, waiting for your real life to begin. You think that because you do not have a microphone on a stage, or a title in a church, that you do not have a real calling. I command you to change your perspective immediately. I have ordained a highly specific, critical work for you to do right where you are standing today. Your current job is not an accident. It is your divine assignment. A difficult office, that messy construction site, that quiet classroom, or your very own kitchen table, that is your specific mission field. I planted you there on purpose. I gave you unique talents, a specific personality, and a distinct voice to bear massive fruit for my kingdom. You are the only version of me that some of your coworkers will ever see. You are the only Bible that your neighbors will ever read. I have assigned you to bring light into those specific, dark rooms. Move away from a life of mere survival and step into a life of significant, eternal impact. There are people around you right now who are secretly dying inside. They are waiting to hear a word of hope, and I want to speak that word through your mouth. Stop hiding your faith because you are afraid of an awkward conversation. I command you to speak up. Offer to pray for that stressed out coworker. Buy a meal for that struggling friend. Listen deeply to the person that everyone else ignores. These are not small things. They are kingdom-shaking actions. I have entrusted you with specific talents, your time, your money, your skills, and your influence. Do not bury them in the dirt because you think they are too small to matter. I will hold you accountable for what you did with the tools I gave you. I did not give you resources just so you could build a comfortable life for yourself and then die quietly. I gave them to you so you could aggressively expand my kingdom of love on this earth. Take up your assignment today. Walk into your workplace tomorrow with your head held high, knowing you are an undercover ambassador for the Creator of the universe. Do everything with absolute excellence, not to please a human boss, but to honor me. The ultimate satisfaction of your life will not come from a retirement fund or a luxury vacation. It will come at the end of your days, when you stand before my throne, look into my eyes, and hear me say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." Start earning that reward today. In a word, I see you staring at the absolute chaos spinning all around you. You watch the news. You see the prices of everything going up, and you hear the angry voices shouting in the streets. You look at your own private world, where the bills are piling up on the kitchen counter, where the medical diagnosis feels like a heavy death sentence, and where your daily plans constantly fall apart. It feels like the entire earth is shaking beneath your feet. You wonder if anyone is driving this train, or if everything is just crashing blindly into the dark. I command you to look up from the mess right now. Look at me. I am telling you with absolute, unshakable authority, I am still sitting firmly on my throne. Nothing in your life has ever caught me by surprise. I did not wake up this morning shocked by the emergency you are facing. I do not panic when the world's economy crashes, and I do not sweat when your personal circumstances suddenly turn upside down. I am the Alpha and the Omega. I hold the very beginning of time in my left hand, and the end of eternity in my right hand. Trust that I am actively working all things together for your absolute good. I am like a master weaver working with thousands of different threads. From the bottom, all you see are messy knots and tangled dark colors. But from the top, where I sit, I am weaving a perfectly beautiful masterpiece out of your pain. Stop demanding to know the why behind every painful event. When you demand answers, you are acting as if understanding the storm will suddenly make you safe. Understanding does not give you peace. My presence gives you peace. Surrender your desperate need to control the details. Trade your frantic why for the eternal who that holds the entire universe. I am the one who commands the ocean waves to stop at the sand. I am the one who tells the sun exactly when to rise. Do you really think I have lost control of your Tuesday afternoon? I invite you to rest in my absolute sovereignty today. See my hand working even when the heavy storm clouds completely hide the sun. When the thunder is incredibly loud, do not cover your ears in terror. Lean into my chest. The stability of my kingdom does not depend on human leaders or global events. The nations will rage, human empires will crumble to dust, and the world will shake. But my promises to you are carved in solid rock. Let the chaos spin around you. Step into the eye of the storm with me. Breathe in my deep, still peace. Stop trying to hold the world on your fragile shoulders, and let me carry you. You have a severe misunderstanding of what it means to worship me. You think worship is just a slow song you sing on a Sunday morning while standing in a building. You think it requires perfect pitch, a massive choir, and an emotionally moving atmosphere. I want to shatter that tiny box you have put me in. I command you to expand your vision today. True worship is not a weekend activity. It is the constant, beating rhythm of your everyday life. It is the way you talk to your difficult spouse. It is the honesty you show at your job when no one is watching. Worship is a lifestyle of total, bleeding surrender. I want you to cultivate a heart that praises me in the quiet, secret places. Talk to me while you are washing the dirty dishes. Talk to me while you are sitting in frustrating traffic. Offer your actual physical body and your racing mind as a living, breathing sacrifice to me. A living sacrifice means you do not crawl off the altar when the fire gets hot. It means you say, "Lord, my hands are yours to work with today. My mouth is yours to speak with today. My eyes are yours to see with today." Make your entire existence a holy and pleasing offering. Discover the completely transformative power of praising me right in the middle of your deepest pain. Anyone can sing a happy song when the bank account is full and the sun is shining. But when you are standing in a hospital room, when your heart is completely shattered, and you still lift your hands and say, "You are absolutely good," that is the kind of worship that shakes the gates of hell. That is the worship that breaks heavy chains and shatters prison doors. It takes massive courage to praise me in the dark. Attune your heart to the frequency of heaven right now. Turn off the toxic noise of complaining and gossiping that fills your mouth. Replace those bitter words with a melody of profound gratitude. Praise is a powerful weapon that shifts your focus completely off your massive problems and directly onto my massive glory. The breakthrough you have been desperately begging for will not come from worrying harder. It will come when you finally start worshiping. Sing out loud today. Speak my goodness into your empty rooms. Shift your attention away from the dirt beneath your feet. Look up at my shining face, and let true worship change your reality. You are walking through a battlefield totally blindfolded, thinking you are at a picnic. You get so angry at your spouse when they say something cruel. You hold deep, bitter resentment against your boss when they overlook you. You get completely furious at the politicians on your television. I command you to open your spiritual eyes right now. Stop attacking the people around you. Your true struggle is not against flesh and blood. The humans who hurt you are not your ultimate enemy. They are simply captives being used by the real enemy. You are engaged in a massive, invisible war against dark, spiritual forces, and you are fighting it with the wrong weapons. Recognize the specific schemes the enemy uses against you. He does not always attack you with obvious, dramatic evil. He uses tiny, invisible darts. He drops a sudden thought of intense jealousy into your mind. He plants a seed of toxic doubt about your worth. He uses heavy exhaustion to make you snap at your children. I command you to become fiercely vigilant. Do not let those dark thoughts build a nest in your hair. The moment an anxious, bitter, or lying thought enters your mind, you must aggressively strike it down. Pick up the heavy sword I have given you. My word is the only weapon that can slice through the thick deception of the enemy. When you are hit with a wave of dark depression, do not just lie in bed and cry. Open your mouth and speak my scripture out loud. Declare, I am the light of the world, and darkness cannot overcome me. Use my words like a sharp blade. The enemy cannot stand against the spoken authority of the Creator. He operates in sneaky whispers, but I operate in roaring truth. I invite you to discover the raw power of persistent, stubborn prayer. When you pray, you are not just whispering wishes into the empty sky. You are launching guided missiles that tear down demonic strongholds. You are dispatching massive armies of heavenly hosts that I have specifically assigned to guard your home, your children, and your mind. Remain incredibly steadfast in your faith when the invisible pressure intensifies. When the battle gets hot, do not drop your shield and run away. Stand your ground. I have completely armed you. I have surrounded you with my fiery angels, and I have already secured the final victory. Fight like you actually know you are going to win. I am walking through the hidden rooms of your heart, and I see the absolute ruins of what used to be a beautiful fire. I see the broken altar where we used to meet. Do you remember those days? Do you remember when you first felt my love, how you could not wait to talk to me? You used to read my words with hungry eyes. You used to pray with a burning passion. Now look at that altar. It is covered in thick dust. It is buried under a massive pile of unread emails, endless social media scrolling, and a schedule that is packed so tight you cannot even breathe. I command you to stop running. Stop making cheap excuses. It is time to rebuild the broken altar today. Return to the deep, passionate first love you once had for me. You have traded a dynamic, living relationship for a boring, religious routine. You give me the leftover scraps of your energy at the end of the day, murmuring a half-asleep prayer before you close your eyes. I am the creator of the universe. I will not accept your leftover scraps. I demand your absolute best. I want the prime time of your day. Prioritize your direct connection with me above every single human tie, above your career, and above your entertainment. Start by restoring the daily habit of reading my word. Do not read it to check a religious box. Read it to consume daily bread for your starving spirit. Meditate on my promises until they sink deep into your bones. Clean the dirty temple of your soul right now. Throw out the worldly compromises you have allowed into your home. You know exactly what those compromises are. The shows you watch that pollute your mind, the toxic conversations you participate in, the secret habits you entertain. These are pouring cold water on the fire of my spirit. I invite you to come before me with a sincere, entirely contrite heart. Do not bring me a fake, polished version of yourself. Bring me your deep sorrow for ignoring me. Bring me your raw desperation. When you finally clear the junk off the altar, when you rebuild it with the solid stones of obedience and truth, watch what happens. I will not leave you standing in the dark. The roaring fire of my Holy Spirit will fall forcefully on a heart that is truly prepared. Ignite that flame today. Make room for me, and I will completely consume you with my perfect love. You have bravely cleared the toxic debris and rebuilt the altar of your heart, totally preparing it for the consuming fire of my absolute presence. I am now actively inviting you to lay a tangible, financial sacrifice upon this rebuilt altar to aggressively fund the explosive spread of my truth. Your sacrificial giving provides the exact fuel needed to broadcast this urgent warning, ripping blinding scales off millions who are currently marching blindfolded toward destruction. As I promised in my holy text, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be immediately refreshed. Your seed is the spark that starts a roaring forest fire of global revival. Time is bleeding away rapidly, and I have specifically positioned you in this exact moment to be a crucial, mighty provider for my end-time harvest. As you release your tight grip on your earthly resources, I will rip open the floodgates of heaven, pouring out a massive blessing that your bank accounts cannot even contain. Honor this divine altar right now by giving a powerful super thanks, becoming a devoted member, or utilizing the PayPal donation link in the description. I ask of you, do not leave this altar we are rebuilding together. If you silence my voice right now, it will grieve my heart beyond what you can understand, because the fire is just about to fall on your life. You have waded so deep into my healing waters. Do not crawl back to the dry, barren desert. Honor my desperate, relentless love for you. Stay with me for these final moments, because what I am about to tell you will permanently change the entire trajectory of your eternity. You have convinced yourself that you are a lone wolf. You think you do not need anyone else to walk this spiritual journey. You have been hurt deeply by people in churches, judged by hypocrites, and let down by leaders who failed. Because of that genuine pain, you have built a massive, thick wall around yourself. You sit at home, watching a screen, thinking your isolated faith is strong enough to survive the storm. I command you to tear down that wall of isolation today. You were never, ever designed to walk this incredibly difficult path entirely alone. I created you for deep, intimate connection. A burning coal taken out of the fire and set on the cold ground will quickly turn gray and die. But when you push all the coals together, they create a blazing, unstoppable heat. Find your vital strength in the tight community of those who actually follow me. I am not asking you to join a religious social club or pretend to be perfect around fake people. I am commanding you to find true brothers and sisters who will lock their arms with yours and drag you forward when you are too tired to walk. Experience the explosive power of corporate prayer. When you gather with other true believers, and you all agree in my spirit, a massive spiritual earthquake happens. Chains are totally shattered. Sickness is driven out. Deep depression lifts. You need their voices when you lose your own. You need their faith when yours is completely drained. Encourage one another intensely as you see the days growing darker. The world outside is cold and brutal. My people must be a warm, glowing hospital for the broken. Allow yourself to be deeply accountable. It is dangerously easy to slip into sin when absolutely no one is watching your life. You need people who love you enough to tell you the hard truth, who will grab you by the shoulders and say, "You are drifting away. Come back." Reflect my absolute love through your physical service to others. Stop focusing entirely on your own healing and start bandaging the wounds of the people sitting right next to you. Reach your hand out today. Send that message. Like that phone call. Step back into the beautiful, messy, powerful fellowship of my people and find the true family I have provided for you. You look at your watch constantly, entirely frustrated that my timeline does not match your urgent schedule. You live in a fast-paced world where you can order a meal, send a message, and buy an item with the simple click of a button. Because of this, you expect me to act like a cosmic vending machine. You put your quick prayer in, and you demand an immediate, perfect answer. When that answer does not drop into your hands instantly, you panic. You assume I have forgotten you, or worse, that I simply do not care. I command you to stop rushing the divine seasons of your life today. I see your massive frustration. I know how badly you want that new job, that healed relationship, or that physical breakthrough. I hear your desperate cries when you ask me why everyone else around you seems to be getting blessed while you are left behind. Your feelings of being abandoned are entirely false. I am not delaying your blessing to punish you. I am carefully preparing you to actually handle the weight of what you are asking for. When my answer is wait, it is because I have something infinitely better in mind, or because you are simply not ready to carry the very thing you desire. If I gave you the heavy blessing right now, your immature character would crack under the pressure. Just my perfect timing. Developing deep, lasting patience produces a mature, unshakable character that cannot be bought with quick fixes. I am acting like a master builder. I am pouring a massive, deep concrete foundation in the dark before I ever start building the visible walls of your life. I see the incredible danger you face when you try to run ahead of my grace. You get tired of waiting, so you try to force a door open with your own bare hands. You take the wrong job just to escape. You enter into a toxic relationship just to avoid being lonely. You make rushed financial decisions out of pure fear. I command you to stop taking control. Stepping out of my timeline is stepping out from under my protective umbrella and walking straight into a violent storm. Resting in the silence is the hardest work you will ever do, but you must do it. You must know that even when I am completely silent, I am intensely active behind the scenes. Think of a tiny seed buried deep in the cold, dark earth. It feels entirely buried, crushed, and forgotten by the sun. But in that absolute darkness, critical roots are pushing deep into the soil. Without that hidden, dark season of waiting, the plant would completely blow over in the first wind. You are not buried, my child. You are securely planted. I am carefully orchestrating thousands of tiny, invisible events for your ultimate benefit. Let go of your tight timeline today. Exhale your frantic worry. Trust that my clock is perfectly set, and when the right moment finally arrives, the doors will swing open so wide that no human force will ever be able to shut them. I see the violent battlefield inside your head. You wake up in the morning, and before you even speak a single word, a massive wave of toxic thoughts crashes over you. You replay embarrassing conversations from 10 years ago. You imagine the worst possible scenarios for tomorrow. You criticize your own body, your own intelligence, and your own worth. You are allowing an invisible enemy to set up camp right in the middle of your mind, completely poisoning your daily reality. I command you to forcefully evict these lying thoughts today. Reject the dark, anxious patterns of this world, and let me completely renew your mind from the inside out. You must understand the direct link between what you feed your mind and your overall spiritual health. You complain that you feel spiritually dead, yet you spend countless hours staring at a glowing screen, constantly absorbing the anger, violence, and fake perfection of the culture around you. You leave your eye gate and your ear gate totally unguarded. You listen to gossip, you consume terrifying news stories right before you sleep, and you wonder why your heart is filled with crushing dread. I invite you to go on a radical, absolute detox starting this very second. Protect your mind like a heavily guarded fortress. Stop drinking from the polluted sewer of the world and expecting to feel refreshed. Cast down every single high thought that exalts itself against my truth. When a thought whispers, "You are going to fail," you must not sit there and politely listen to it. You must grab that thought by the throat and say, "No. I am totally equipped by the Creator." You have the absolute authority to arrest your own thoughts. You do not have to follow every dark rabbit hole your brain presents to you. I command you to aggressively shift your focus. Think deliberately on things that are pure, things that are lovely, and things that are of a good report. This is not a silly, positive thinking exercise. This is harsh, necessary spiritual warfare. I offer you the incredible, crystal clear mind of Christ. When you finally allow me to wash your thoughts with my word, the thick fog will lift from your life. The intense clarity you will experience will shock you. You will begin to see difficult people with deep compassion instead of instant anger. You will see massive problems as divine opportunities instead of crushing defeats. You will stop interpreting every minor inconvenience as a personal attack. Transform your mind today by saturating it with my promises. Read my words until they become your automatic inner voice. Exchange your heavy, chaotic thoughts for my perfect, structured peace, and watch your entire outer world change as a direct result. You are standing far too close to the massive canvas of your life. Because your face is pressed right up against the painting, all you can see are the dark, messy, painful brushstrokes of your current situation. You see the deep grief of losing someone you loved. You feel the sharp sting of failing at a project you worked hard on. You feel the physical aches in your aging body. Because this is all you see, you believe the pain is going to last forever. I command you to take 3 massive steps back right now. I want to give you my eternal perspective. View your current, heavy afflictions in the blazing, endless light of eternity. Your time on this earth is nothing more than a tiny, brief spark in a completely dark sky. It flashes for a split second, and then it is gone. Yet, you spend all your frantic energy building temporary sandcastles that the next wave of time will instantly wash away. You chase a higher salary, a bigger house, and the fleeting applause of people who will eventually forget your name. You are aggressively storing up your treasures in a world where moths eat, rust destroys, and thieves break in to steal. I invite you to wake up from this foolish illusion. Stop investing all your precious resources into a temporary hotel room. You are a permanent citizen of a kingdom that is absolutely not of this world. I want you to heavily invest in the things that actually cross over the boundary of death. The only things you can take with you are the human souls you have loved and the character you have built. When you finally grasp the temporary nature of the world's rewards and sorrows, it will make you incredibly bold. Why be terrified of looking foolish for my sake when you know human opinions turn to dust? Why hold tightly onto your money when you know my streets are paved with solid gold? Storing up treasures in heaven means giving your life away for the sake of others. I offer you the ultimate, unshakable hope of the resurrection. Death is not a dark, terrifying brick wall at the end of your road. Because of my absolute victory, death has entirely lost its sting. It is now simply a door that you will walk through to enter my everlasting life. Live every single day with this massive reality burning in your chest. When the temporary tragedies of this earth hit you, they will still hurt, but they will not completely destroy you. You will cry, but not like those who have no hope. Lift your eyes above the horizon of your current pain today. See the eternal, heavy weight of glory that is rapidly approaching, and let it fuel you with incredible joy. My hand is fully extended to you right now, and the distance between us is completely gone. I have poured out my heart to you in this conversation. I have named your hidden struggles. I have addressed your deep fears, and I have shown you the massive reality of my love. But I will not force your hand. This is the ultimate moment of decision, and this choice will actively echo through every single day of your eternity. You cannot remain neutral anymore. You cannot listen to these words, feel the intense heat of my spirit burning in your chest, and simply close this page to go back to your old, dead life. I command you to draw a line in the sand right this very second. The incredible simplicity of faith stumbles so many people. You keep trying to make it complicated. You think you need a theology degree, a perfect track record, or a massive emotional breakdown to come to me. You do not. The entire requirement is simply believing in the one I have sent. It is an active, desperate reliance on my grace. Step out of the heavy, suffocating darkness today. Step fully into my marvelous, warm, and healing light. Stop staring at the locked doors of your past. Turn around and look at the completely open door I am holding for you right now. I offer you a permanent, unbreakable covenant of peace this very second. If you take my hand, I promise to never let you go. I promise to walk with you through the deep fires and the high floods. I promise that even when you stumble, my grip on you will remain completely tight. You have been running for so long. Your lungs are burning, your feet are bleeding, and your soul is entirely exhausted. You do not have to run anymore. You do not have to fight for your own survival. The heavy war inside your chest can end right now. I am standing directly at the door of your heart, and I am knocking loudly. Do you hear it? It is the steady, powerful heartbeat of a father who has crossed the entire universe just to find you sitting in the dark. It is absolutely time to let me in. Say yes to me right now. Speak it out loud in whatever room you are sitting in. Yes, Lord. I surrender. I'm coming home. Do it now. Reach out, take my massive, scarred hand, and let us begin the real, eternal life I have always intended for you. Welcome home, my incredibly beloved child. Welcome home. You have heard my final, desperate plea and stepped out of the freezing darkness to take your rightful place securely inside my eternal home. I am directly commanding you to leave the door wide open behind you, enabling thousands of other bleeding, prodigal children to find their way back to my arms. By financially backing this ministry, you are actively dispatching a massive search party into the deepest trenches of the world to radically rescue the forgotten and the totally broken. Remember my eternal decree: cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Your given treasure acts as a blinding lighthouse cutting entirely through the demonic fog. This is the absolute final hour, the rapid closing of the age, and your immediate, Urgent generosity is required to ensure no soul misses this ultimate call. When you fund my divine rescue operation, I will aggressively defend your household, multiplying your earthly seed into an indestructible, eternal fortune. Make your kingdom impact permanent right now by sending a super thanks, joining the channel membership, or planting your final urgent seed through the PayPal link in the description. My precious child, this is my ultimate, undeniable call to your heart. Do not let this sacred moment slip away into the shadows. If you are finally ready to drop your exhausting burdens and step into my unbreakable covenant of peace, I invite you to seal your decision right now. Step out of the silence and declare your absolute surrender in the comments below by typing, "Lord, I hear your voice, and I am coming home today." Let this bold, public declaration be the powerful spark that shatters your heavy chains and ignites your total transformation. I am standing right here with wide, open arms. Do not avoid my rescue for a single second longer. Amen.